You're going into or along?
I
Yes,
believe
Going out.
that
Going into.
we were.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I believe Oliver was heading out into the forest when we ended last session.
Yes.
I do want to play that out.
Did you?
Sin's gonna set up her tent, and she's gonna post a knock outside the front tent flap, like the guard he's supposed to be, or the guard he's agreed to be, I suppose.
Did you want to leave immediately, Oliver, or did you want to wait a moment for people to fall asleep? Do you want to do it stealthily or not?
I do not want to do it stealthily.
Okay.
He has
Do
no
you-
reason to hide it, so.
Do you say anything to the group, or do you just walk off?
I would probably do it in a way that would be obvious, but he would not say anything.
All right. As Oliver, making no move to hide it, picking up the dagger, almost glancing at it before moving off into the woods, Gideon, Anak, and Sin, do you do anything particular as your companion leaves?
I want to make sure that when I'm trying to sleep, my eyes are closed.
That's good to know. How do you sleep? Do you just raw dog the elements? I'm just curious for my own personal sanity.
Yeah, you know, a nice stump makes for a good rest.
Alright. Anak, I'm aware of what Sin and Gideon are doing. Do you do anything particular, or do you just stand guard over Sin's tent?
I don't think he would follow Oliver. He's not.
Alright. As Oliver moves off into the woods, the rest of the party staying behind at the campsite. What exactly are you doing, Oliver?
Oliver would just look at the dagger. As he goes and basically, as I mentioned last session, he would just go out and test the dagger on other creatures to see what effect it would have.
Alright.
Or if it's actually just a regular dagger.
Go ahead and roll me a survival check. We'll see.
Alright.
See how well you are at hunting, how good you are.
Foundry is giving me a little bit of trouble opening up. I don't know why, but I think Adblock might be doing something, but I will just use the
That
character
block
sheet
shouldn't
now.
affect it at all. But okay.
I have ad block. It opened fine.
I guess it might be his specific ad block because he's not using the correct one.
13.
13. Yeah, I would say it's not too difficult, especially with your proficiency with hunting. You are able to track down a small elk. Not large by any means, definitely not enough to provide that much meat and sustenance, but decent size nonetheless. Quickly bringing it down. How exactly do you test this dagger? Do you just stab it into it?
I want to basically, same as before, literally just step by step shooting it with an arrow. I would try to in the eye, but it wouldn't be that important. But
If
you
you're
would
trying to
shoot
hit
it
in
with
the
the arrow
eye,
and then
go
stab
ahead and roll an attack roll with a 2-hit increased AC thrown in.
All right. Let me try and open this real quick. That is successful. All right. I have just opened Foundry. Give me a minute. It was the ad blocker.
I guess you got the wrong ad blocker.
All right. Just short bow. Da-da-da.
That is enough. You sight down the line of your bow, drawing your arrow to your cheek, breathing in, and on the exhale, releasing the arrow with a smooth motion. Very clean shot directly into the eye.
Right. I will then use the dagger to just test and see if the same thing happens here.
So you stab it in the other eye with the dagger?
I would basically, same as Data did, insert the dagger into the eye. Literally just recreating the situation as closely as possible as I can.
You don't know the situation, David.
Fun fact about eyeballs. Eyeballs pop when you cut them.
True.
The mantis's eye was different than normal people's eyes.
It is not an eyeball, it was... What is the eyeball of an insect called? I have no idea.
Fair enough.
An eye?
I mean, yes, but it's like similar to like they have antennae and abdomen and all that. I assume there's some fancy name for it.
You have an abdomen too. Believe it or not.
I'm aware, but it's usually called a stomach on a human.
They have a thorax. You don't have a thorax.
I don't know about you. I've got a thorax. No, I'm just kidding.
Again, I have no idea, but it is a unique chemistry compared to a animal's eye.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
When it comes down to
Compound-ized.
bugs, compound eyes. That is what it is. The bug's eye didn't pop because it was a specialized creature. I actually don't even know if compound eyes normally don't pop, but I do know the more biological eyes, like human eyes and such, always when you cut them open, they deflate like a balloon that's been popped. So it's not going to look the same as when you hit the insect.
Well, Oliver doing this, realizing it's not going to work, will just do the same thing on just its bare skin, just to see if it changes.
So you shoot it with an arrow, and then pull the arrow out, and then stab it with a knife? Just to make sure I'm
Correct.
understanding?
Yes.
I also think he's judging between the two stab wounds, and he's basically trying to tell if the knife has like a magical effect that switches it to an arrow stab wound, I suppose.
Pretty much. Oliver is not sure what's going on. It's the first thing he thought of.
Huh. Apparently, mantises have 5 eyes. They have the 2 compound eyes on the side of their head, and then in the top middle of their forehead, they have 3 normal eyes, but they can only detect light.
Isn't that what human eyes can detect? I thought human eyes
yes?
could only see the light spectrum. Because you can't see heat or anything.
I think it means detecting light, like
They detect light
eyes
shifts that
aren't
help it
designed to
maintain
detect
balance during
movement.
the.
yeah.
Oh, not light,
Yeah.
as in...
So it's
Okay, vibrations. Okay.
yeah, they can't see.
I didn't
Interesting.
know
Didn't know that. That's fun.
that. Alright. I will say... Just go ahead and roll me your survival check. We'll just leave this up to a
All right.
roll.
Give me a moment. $15 again.
Alright. I will say with adequate amount of testing, you are able to determine that this knife is sharp. Sharper than what one might expect. And it's not that you override the cut with the arrow. It's that the blade goes in so cleanly it doesn't remove the original wound, is the best way I can describe it.
I see. So basically, it is. Would it or would it not be different? That's the only thing I care about.
Would it or would it not be different from what?
From the wound that was made on the mantis, like the same situation.
He's asking if the knife could have faked an arrow wound, essentially.
Basically, yes.
Could the knife have faked an arrow wound? Normally, no. But if you were either A, very skilled, or B, took time, it is possible.
Oliver will walk back, or actually, yeah, Oliver will take the deer or whatever he hunted back to camp. Is everyone still or already
Yes.
asleep, I should say?
You are moving back to camp. You hear the snap of a tree branch above you.
Expecting Sin, but not necessarily exclusively expecting him, I would be guardedly looking towards where it came from, but also keeping an eye on other areas, because usually when that kind of stuff happens, it can be because that's where they want you to look. So just generally being very perceptive is
As you glance up, making certain to keep your eyes on the surrounding area, you see a dark, cloaked figure scampering their way through the treetops. Just as you're about your brain searching for an answer, the figure almost pauses, the moonlight glinting off of their white mask, before the figure vanishes behind a tree.
I would actually I don't have detect thoughts.
Detect thoughts is only a range of 30 feet, to remind you.
Correct. And I don't believe I have any spell slots because of the fight we had, so Oliver would
You also wouldn't have spell slots for detect thoughts anyways,
It's
unless
the
you've
second
got a
level
special
spell.
detect thoughts that it's. Yeah, your spell slots can be used for detect thoughts. I'm pretty sure the only detect thoughts you have is your racial one.
Yeah. Do we have 1 or 2 spell slots at level 1?
D&D, what? I
Depends on your
don't-
class.
Wizards start with 4,
Let me look then.
or maybe 3. I think
A
it's-
wonderful thing about the character sheet.
It says I
shows
have
you how many
0
you
of
have.
2. Yeah,
That
I was
means you
just
have
looking
2
at that.
max.
It is 0 of 2. Yeah. 0 of 2, so I don't have anything left. Oliver would stare at it, and he would almost instinctively begin running towards it, but stop himself, looking at the dagger and looking at him, and realizing what very could easily be the case here. He would slowly back off and stealthily make his way back to camp.
Alright.
Not stealthily making his way into camp, but basically breaking stealth just before he reaches it, so to
So you
speak.
entered stealth to effectively hide your trail, and then head back to camp.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and roll stealth.
All right.
He
Well,
failed.
Oliver is too stressed.
Unfortunately, with the presence of this unknown figure and the elk strewn across your back, you are not able to perfectly hide your tracks. The blood of the creature spilling in the ground behind you, the sheer weight causing you to hit branches and trees that you normally would easily avoid. You do make it back to camp, but you are also confident that trail is very easily followable.
Oliver would
It's
click
kind
his
of hard to
tongue
miss with all the blood you left
as
behind.
he enters the camp, and he would stare to knock. Is Sin in there?
Response: She is.
He would nod, and he would continue into the camp. In that case, someone is in or sorry, let me restate that. In that case, somebody is in the forest nearby. We are not
I am
alone.
assuming you were still in there, right?
You haven't checked, but yes.
I mean, I was.
I would say it's
was at the
very
entrance of the tent.
obvious that Oliver very clearly does not completely believe what you said about Sin being in there.
Well, either way, Knock is going in the tent right now, so I'll
Alright.
know.
Just to remind you, Sin has asked you to ring the bell every time you are going to enter the tent.
It rings the bell as entering the tent.
Yes, but
My understanding.
from what Sin said, she basically has asked you ring the bell and then enter the tent to give her quote-unquote time.
Well, the bell's being rung, and then you would wait like 2 seconds if no response, and then enter.
There is in fact no response. Pulling apart the tent flap, you check inside, and what greets your vision is something that you have seen before, even if Justin has not. There would be a box settled in the center of the tent. Small, sin-sized. You know that she likes to sleep under this box because she's a very light sleeper, and even the smallest sound can wake her. So this box has been fitted with soundproofing capability to dampen the sounds of the nearby forest, because otherwise she literally would not be able to sleep.
Nock would knock on the box.
Solid, dull thud, but nothing else.
A knock knock.
Well, very well, Gideon. Nock would return to the front of the tent and just wait for Sin's return.
Oliver, I will mention, is very obviously watching this.
It would not
He's-
be difficult to notice that a
You
knock
can't see it.
literally knocked on a wooden box and nothing happened.
I don't think he would see the box.
Yeah, I was gonna
being
say I
knocked on. It's in the
wouldn't
tent.
see the box
Unless
because
the
I'm
knock
outside.
left the
but-
flap open.
I mean, the
He
tent
would
is
just
not
see it
that
not
big.
go
I believe-
inside and hear.
A knock would have pulled open the flap.
I wouldn't-
The box would have been right there. He wouldn't even had to have taken a step inside and then knocked on it. Your tent isn't
I
like a house size.
That's fair.
It's literally a
I
one-person
assumed a knock. I assumed a knock walked in order to do that and close the flap. That might be just my bad though in that scenario.
I
No,
was
it would
also
be
gonna
closing
say-
the flap.
I was also going to say I have to argue in Bo's case in this situation, because in my head Oliver walked by the campfire or not opposite but close to his tent, and is very obviously watching a knock, so he wouldn't be right in front of the tent, so to
I-
speak.
You wouldn't have the angle to look inside the tent too easy.
Yes.
You might be able to see a corner of it, but
Maybe I do
way.
think that this is good to confirm though. This does mean that if a knock does open the tent and he reaches in, then he can't close the flap is what we're hearing. So it is good to know for the future. I just
I-
didn't realize the tent
I
was
was-
that
I was
small.
picturing the flap closing itself just with gravity and stuff.
I was under the impression it was a halfling tent,
It is, but it's
which means a
still.
knock and his
so
7
my
foot
thought
tall
process-
ass.
Probably
Well,
covers
he'd
the
have
whole
to crouch down,
entrance.
is what I was thinking. But regardless,
I
it doesn't
probably
matter
covered
in
the
this case.
entrance
We
with
know
down.
now. We know now. It's fine. It doesn't matter in this case. So nothing was seen, but I assume Oliver still would have heard the knock, for sure.
Dull sound of
Indeed.
walking on wood with no answer. As a knock returns to his sentry's rest, do you do anything else, Oliver?
Just an active perception check to see if I can catch Sin on his way back. Obviously expecting that he would do something sneaky, knowing that I'm watching.
Alright, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
That is a 13.
Alright. And then, do you get some Shatai yourself? Or do you
we have a
stay
fire?
awake?
I would not cut into the time that I would need to get a full night's rest.
Alright.
A knock would make a fire.
Alright.
He does not have dark vision.
So, just so you're aware, it is currently only dim light, with the moonlight and everything. And how a fire works is that, I don't know if you know this, so I'm informing you of this. A campfire destroys your night vision, absolutely eradicates it. So the fire does provide light up to 30 feet in bright light, and then an additional 30 feet in dim light. But whereas before you would have been able to see past that 60 feet, building a fire makes it so that past that 60 feet is now considered darkness to your vision.
I did not
Having
know
said
that.
that, when you're
So
doing
the
a perception
night is
check
going
in
to
dim
be
light,
bright
Oh,
enough that we can't see.
You're right, Oliver. That would be at disadvantage because you do not have dark vision. I apologize. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Having said that, whenever you make a perception check in dim light, you have disadvantage on the.
In that case, I would actually, and this is if Oliver would know this, I'll leave that up to you to decide, I guess, but I would ask that the fire not be lit, if it is not already.
You would
So you-
definitely know how a fire works. That's why
Alright.
I'm informing beforehand.
In that case,
Yeah.
I would actually, Anak, don't light the fire, please. I would like to see you when Sin gets back.
Response. Understood. I was under the impression that the nights were darker.
No, so I don't know if you've ever gone.
It depends on
camping.
what phase of the moon it is.
Yeah, if it's a new moon, oh yeah, it's fucking pitch black. But if there is any light from the moon, you can actually see very easily.
It definitely depends. Sometimes it's quite dark.
Easily is debatable, but yeah.
Yeah, if it's
Carry on.
cloudy, it's dark. But or if you're in a city, sometimes.
If you
guess,
can't
technically.
see
really-
the moonlight, then yes, it's dark. But if you can use the moonlight, it's not actually that dark. As someone who's physically been in the woods at night with
I've
moonlight.
done it too. I'm with John.
I've done
John
it
is
as
correct.
well.
However, there are a variety of things that can cause it to be dark, but the main
Tree
one that
cover
you'd be worried
is number
about
one.
is
What,
tree
in the
cover,
forest?
cloud cover, and new moon. If it's a new moon, you're not going to be able to see anything.
It is not too dark to see tonight. Hence the reason why Oliver was able to hunt. No problem.
I assumed he had dark vision as well. So
He does not. In fact, none of you do, except for Sin.
But since cheating, so that doesn't count.
cool. No fires lit.
Oliver would obviously have an inner war with this before he finally snaps a twig under his grip and just drops it to the ground and sighs. Not even cutting into his sleeping time yet, as he just stands. And he would say something under his breath if you wanted to listen into that, or at least try, but I would argue that it would be quiet enough that you wouldn't be able to hear it without a check of some sort.
Can I roll a perception?
Can you roll a perception check? No. As for a knock, oh, no, because at your current position, you're just too far away. Yeah. As for a knock, you can roll one if you so choose.
Should I be rolling one, or should it be passive? I am waiting specifically for Sin, so I would be looking for people.
So, this is David asking if you Justin want a knock to hear what Oliver just said. This is where you would roll a perception check. You don't have to. This is just if you want
Sure.
to.
Nope.
Here,
I
nothing.
definitely did not hear anything.
You are too distracted knowing Sin is missing and just keeping an eye on the woods. Your ear receptors are not tuned to their maximum.
Written off.
Anyway, Oliver is going to sleep, if that wasn't obvious.
Enoch is already sleeping. And what counts as sleep?
Alright.
Bo moving his monitor towards him as though I could already see.
Well,
I noticed. That's funny.
well, Oliver.
I never.
Sorry.
No, you continue.
I
I was
guess
just making fun of Bo.
He muted himself. Alright.
No, I didn't mute myself. I was just done talking.
Oh.
Yes. I was saying. I was answering with David's thing. when about the moving the screen, he's like, I can't see it anyway, and I was like, look, you never know, okay? Like,
Alrighty then. So I presume Oliver also settles down for the night. I didn't quite hear that if you said that you did.
Yep.
Okay. As the night passes, Anak keeping his sentry's guard.
Oh, my apologies. I did hand the knife to Anak.
Okay.
I just weapon keeper.
Yes.
I mean,
You're
I already
the-
took
the
my weapons
hand
back from
things
you,
to
so
Sinner.
not really, but
As
Anak would respond, response. I am not the one that carries the magic bag. Why are you handing me your weapons?
Because it'd be best if I was not the one holding it, considering previous events.
Response. You are then putting so-called blame on me then? Or suspicion?
Oliver would raise an eyebrow.
way to go, Anak. Sin is cheering you on proudly.
Oliver would raise an eyebrow.
Anak would not be
You are
accepting
the
this
one who
dagger.
killed- He'd raise an eyebrow. You are not the one who killed the mantis, so you wouldn't need to, but he would leave the knife by the campfire and walk into his tent.
Alright.
There is no campfire.
The campfire location that you were about to light when Anak or Oliver stopped you.
Aye.
Well,
Query. Do you need this dagger?
He looks at the dagger. It'd be nice to have, but the cons weigh almost as much as the pros.
Anak would take the dagger and throw it into the lake.
He'd blink at it.
Sin dies a little inside. Sin dies just a little bit.
Oliver would just blink at it, sigh, walks into the tent.
with the shenanigans being had at night, the loud snores of Gideon echoing into the night, it passes without much incident. You do all get a long rest.
Did Anak never notice Sin coming back?
You did not.
He would also be paying attention to the tent itself.
Paying attention how? So, just to inform you of how the Sentry's Rest works, yes, you
It's
can...
motionless, I know.
Yes, it's
I'm staying in
motionless.
front.
Okay.
I was just saying I'm also paying very much so attention to anything that I could hear or notice around the tent.
Yep, that's totally fine. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. We'll just leave it up to a roll.
I got some hot rolls tonight.
The night's not over yet. Come on. You gotta keep waiting before you can really make a true judgment.
Alright.
There's a long rest button on your character sheets, by the way.
Yes, you can just click and make it super nice and simple. The morning comes, and all of you in your own ways waking up slowly but surely. You hear the sound of the bell from Sin's tent as Sin exits, stretching her arms overhead, a very loud yawn coming from her lips.
Sin scratches her butt. She then looks around for a second. And she's just gonna start packing up her tent.
Statement. I best back up.
Indeed. Although we should probably meet after this. I have piece of information I should probably bring to the group's attention. We need to have a conversation that is long overdue.
Statement. Known.
And you, wake up! She's gonna throw a rock at Gideon.
Just like, Dragon Ball Z catches the rock. No. No. Or other Dragon Ball Z, it just hits him in the head. He's just like,
Oliver would. If I can, probably not. But if I can, I would try to catch the rock.
Well, where'd you throw the rock at him? I
mean, she was aiming for the back of his
Gideon
head,
wasn't too far.
assuming he was sleeping against the log.
He's sleeping up against a trunk, and he would be on his back.
He'd be on his back? Okay, she's aiming at his crutch then.
Sick.
Oh.
She doesn't say that she's aiming there, but she does.
As mentioned, I would catch it if I can.
I
Based,
suppose.
I
Make an attack
sincerely
roll.
doubt it.
based upon positioning, I'll leave it up to a roll, but the DC is going to be decent. I'm going to put it at a DC 17 acrobatics check to catch this rock.
Bring it on. That is not a 17.
Oliver,
Not
Got
like,
evaded
keep
by
running
that
over on the way.
18.
he,
Like reaches a hand out. Like,
he like
hey, don't do that.
seeing the
It's-
rock, your instincts almost cause your hand to twitch before your brain catches up, and you just realize you are just too far away to even stand a chance of catching this rock.
Hold on, I gotta do a roll to hit real
Yep.
quick. I
No,
want
you
to
gotta
see
do a
what
roll.
what my thing is. This is not a finesse.
This is
weapon, so
where
I
you
gotta
roll
do
the natural
strength.
one and actually
Yeah.
hits Oliver
It would
on the
be
head.
an improvised weapon attack, and it would be using your strength.
Improvised weapon and it'd be using strength. That's 14.
That does hit. Yeah.
14 hits?
That ties my
Cold
ability or
shot,
my
it
Yes.
is
armor score, yeah.
disadvantage. I
Yes.
want to
It's
point
a
that
called
out.
shot though. It's called shot, so increased AC.
I guess, yeah, call shot, it would be a +2 to your AC. So he doesn't hit
Well,
your crotch.
This is
but
where the argument comes in with the fact that I'm asleep, and
I guess
would
you
my
would
shield
have
really be
advantage.
equipped while I'm
Oh, wait,
asleep?
you're asleep. I've got advantage.
yeah,
but I've
you have
also have
dis-
disadvantage because
you
he's
have-
prone. I have disadvantage because he's prone, so it's still
I
flat
guess
roll.
that's fair. It's a lot of mechanics. Alright. Her aim is almost true. She hits your thigh.
Yeah,
She pretends like that's where she was aiming.
right. Well, no, like I would say, like she just hits where she wanted, except it, I'm wearing equipment.
That works too.
Sure.
That would be funny.
It clangs off your cod piece.
My Call of Duty piece, though. Anyway, I would just not react and just stand up, I suppose. Start getting up. The rock wasn't really necessary.
Sin stares at you for a moment, and she looks like she's gonna say something, but she seems to be at war with herself on whether she should actually say it, and she turns away. All right, let's all form up. Oliver, you sit over there. The rest of us, we sit on this side.
That said, some of the best results can come about of doing unnecessary things.
In something out of character for something coming from Sin, Oliver actually goes. I should say he doesn't resist. What's the right wording for that? I don't know. He goes
Complies.
to the. What was that?
Oliver
Compli-
complies, sitting
Complies.
down at a designated
Yes,
location.
Thank you. He complies without issue. Is a very good way of putting that. Thank you.
All right. So after everyone sits down, Sin's gonna turn to Oliver and putting her hands together, she's gonna take a deep breath for her through her nose, and she's going to say, "So, tell me what's happened to you since your clan was massacred. Don't leave any details out."
Oliver would look at Sin, and he would close his eyes for a moment, thinking about how he'd want to put it. very clearly figuring out how to word something that he obviously hasn't told anyone, at least to your knowledge, or as it would seem, as he... I'm not sure what happened after that, just that I woke up in a street, in a body that wasn't my own. I don't particularly want to share everything, as he glares at Sin slightly.
Oh, you'll be sharing far more than you want to today. But please, carry on.
But I made my way to a medical school. I learned there for a while. I got arrested for killing a noble, and I got hired by a certain
Really?
person in
As
power.
far as my information goes, you didn't actually kill the noble. You just made him catatonic.
To take someone's thoughts is the same as killing them. He says that with a certain conviction, by the way.
Yes, the clan of mind readers. It makes sense that you'd probably worship thoughts more than the actual sanctity of life itself, I suppose. But carry on. I want more.
He looks at you. He says, "You seem to know more than most."
Of course. You're not the only one that can investigate people, you know. The only difference is I'm a bit better at it.
Then I suppose you wouldn't mind explaining it yourself.
I could, but for now, I think I'm going to hold off. Now, continue. Carry on, please. I want to know specifically why you are wrapped up in this stupid little game that these so-called Ash Cloaks are playing, and why you felt the need to drag us into it.
As far as I'm aware, I am not involved with these people whatsoever. I'd say it's
That's
possible, but
not true.
unlikely.
That's not true. Data called out your name specifically, without even mentioning it. Not to mention that the Ash Cloaks, as by your own admission, are a government official group sanctioned by the Worm Kingdom, the kingdom which you just so happen to serve, even if tenuously, through your own individual boss. You were hired to go after the Purple Mantis, therefore they are using their powers to get you to do it. That makes you, at least tenuously, responsible. Take that into account, and the fact that Data clearly wasn't actually trying to kill us, that leads me to believe that we are part of some kind of plan of his, and you are the one who dragged both me and Anok, as she points to Anok, into this whole mess. So start talking, or I'll start revealing information you'd really rather not known. After all, your clan was destroyed. It'd be a shame if they were to find out that there's still a member alive.
When you say still a member alive, he would look at you questioningly, as though not suspiciously, but almost questioningly.
Not suspiciously. I feel like you have to be suspicious of that.
No, it's more so like his expression scrunched in confusion. That's not suspicion.
I know, but
I
carry on.
want... There's not much else to tell. I said so vaguely, and as I mentioned, I'm not going too far into detail. But the only thing I can think of that this could be is some random guy I met in the street a long time ago. And again, I literally know nothing about him. As mentioned, it is possible that he is connected to these people. In fact, I might even be inclined to say it's likely, now that I think about it, considering you mentioned a name that I believe might be who that person. But there was a man long ago that I met. He didn't say anything about himself, but he took an unusual interest in me. A man with a scar across his eye. Trust me, if I knew anything else, I wouldn't even be here.
Yet you still
Interjection.
hide things.
Interjection. Do we know what this name is?
Let me look at my notes.
I'm assuming it's Falsier. But Enoch did not hear that.
He'd actually look towards Enoch, and he would insight to see if he recognizes the name.
That's
Falsier.
was Justin. Oh, okay. I apologize.
Do I recognize the name?
Yeah, none of us have heard the name.
No,
Assuming it's Falsier.
That's debatable.
you would not.
You were outside the waterfall. Knocked out. And the
I
waterfall
was
is quite
knocked out,
noisy.
but
He
that's
whispered it.
You don't
to
have to
him.
hear it from Data, who whispered.
He could have heard the name.
I'm
I don't
wondering
think-
if I've heard about the person from elsewhere.
That's a natural 20 on insight for 24.
You're inciting a knock.
You can tell that
Yes.
Enoch doesn't seem to know the name. He is fishing it for
I
a
would-
name.
I see. I would also be inciting sin, but it would be secondary to Enoch, not. So that's debatable.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to think. I have to organize. I have to consider.
Well,
No.
while you're doing that, I can finish the next part. I'm gonna turn over to Oliver, and I'm going to say, "Would you care to hear a story?"
Sure.
This is a tale, a warning tale, from that I heard as a child. Take heed and hear these words of mine, O people of the heart. A tale I tell of one who fell and left his life in shards. A youth of old who feared the dark, paid men in gold and wine, to wander off and clear the way, conquer through blood and time. I'll speak up. The child commanded men to fight the monsters of the night, destroy the beast, for I must seek a solution to my plight. For the child's home was burning, filled with ash and stone, and with his noble yearning he sought to save his home. Yet the child made a grave mistake in sending men to crawl, these men who spent their lives to pay to make the monsters fall. For as his soldiers fell and wept, he offered them no solace. The soldiers' friends and family lost, each left to rot in silence. And yet the child still pushed forth through all the people's pain, for all he saw was his own path, only knew of his own gain. With time the soldiers chose to flee, they would not stand their ground, for men had all come now to see that they could not be bound. They left the boy to wander there, lost in the forest's dark. Beware, beware the yearning snare, lost to your own spark. Lest you be as Liger Screeth, a child cursed to wander, through forest magic, a fate so tragic, cursed to live an eternal monster. A prose of sorts that was developed by my late master. The warning
clap.
contained within is to warn against. Thank you, Enoch. She turns to nod at him. A warning given to warn against people hiding information and not being invested in those that they travel with. You see, Oliver, if you don't give me something useful, I don't see any reason why me and Enoch should stick around.
Oliver seems to be slightly annoyed, not because you seem, well, I'll actually leave that to an insight if you want, but he would seem slightly annoyed
Sin doesn't bother.
As he responds, I've already given you what I know. As I mentioned, trust me, if you have anything to say, I'd be glad to expand on it.
Very well. Why don't you explain why your hair is somewhat purple? Or was when you were a child?
It's a natural phenomenon of my clan.
That's not true.
When Sin draws attention to it, almost just naturally a Nox in Gideon's eyes just flick to his hair. With the waterfall dousing him in water, you see just the faintest trace of violet purple bleeding through his black locks.
His luscious black locks.
Sorry.
From what I know, that hair
Crap.
that you have is actually a form of dye. The question is, why dye your hair black?
Because it is not something I want widely known.
Well, care to expand? Something about you has got people hunting us down, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it, or we are going to leave you to deal with this mess on your own.
We do have something to share. I recommend it. She even told us about her past, after all.
What are you digging for specifically?
Sin actually gets halfway through a giggle, but stops. Like,
Doc would say, statement, that is true. She is both from Azura City and the Shrine Kingdom.
Sin actually chuckles at that.
I don't have any way to prove myself, and it is clear that you're not going to believe me. It seems we should take our separate paths. I would not want others caught up in my line of work anyway.
Oh, you're not getting away that easily.
So you admit that you do want to work together then?
No, I'm saying that I'll tie you up and give you to the people so that we don't get in trouble for your mess.
Oliver would actually grab his bow.
That's funny because Gideon's reaction would have been a light chuckle.
Sink, you grab your bow. Knock
And then
would
season- yeah.
stand up threateningly towards you.
He stares at Nock and he says, I would be forced to defend myself. As I mentioned, I have no way to prove anything. He seems genuinely frustrated by that.
Well, you may have no way
Well,
to
since
prove
you have
Almost
no way to
angry
prove
about it.
anything. Since you have no way to prove anything, we know that you suspect that you yourself do not have control over yourself completely. After all, why else would you have been out in the forest last night testing your dagger and arrow against an elk?
To test the blade, he raises his eyebrow.
Sin actually chuckles darkly before she turns to look at Anak and Gideon.
Do you believe that? I know I don't.
Statement. I do. But I don't have enough information.
Well, here's a little more information for you then. Are you aware that the wound that killed the mantis, that killed the child...
She then turns to look at Oliver with a glare. Although
was an
Oliver,
arrow?
With your insight check from earlier, Oliver, I'll actually say that you know that she doesn't particularly care about the child.
was actually an arrow wound.
He actually finished for you if you didn't hear that.
I did, but she spoke over you after you said it.
She reiterates your point.
And I don't know about you, but I didn't see any arrows on Data. Sure, he might have had a bag, but tell me, Anak, did you actually see who killed the mantis? And further than that, I know you, Gideon, noticed as well. Tell me, does Oliver strike you as someone trustworthy enough that we should put up with this?
I take people by
Statement.
their actions.
I do
I have
know
seen
that.
nothing
And
that.
what do his actions tell you? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought you
you're
were
good. It's just a knock and I talked at the same time.
Go ahead, Gideon.
I've seen nothing that proves him untrustworthy. So before jumping to extremes and him assuming that nobody will believe him, best to say what he means to say rather than just say nothing at all and make assumptions.
Statement. I do know Oliver was hesitant to initiate any violence against Semantis. I was the one holding it off until I had fallen.
That makes sense. However, it's not that I suspect him of killing the Mantis himself. No, I believe that he has something that he's not telling us, something dangerous that was putting both a risk to us and our marks, as she glances towards the cave, that he refuses to tell us, won't tell us, or simply is thought isn't
Let me
important.
sorry, I said that wrong. Let me
Reiterate?
reiterate that. Yes, there probably is something dangerous. Hence the reason I'm wanting to split up. But as I also mentioned, I don't know what that is. I am just in the dark as you are. Believe
Well,
me
then go
when
into
I
some
say
details.
that. And when I find them, I will kill every last one of them.
Nobody
Who's
could want to ask any
them?
questions.
I thought you were one of them for a while. I
Sin
don't
waves
know.
her hand. Carry on. You obviously know more than that. This them you suspect of doing something.
She's essentially asking who you believe them to be and what this something is.
Oliver seems to look inward, actually trying to figure this out, but comes out with no words.
Go ahead and roll me a history check.
That was almost a natural one. 14.
You, not for the first time, you now realize, but putting genuine thought towards this allows you to reconnect what you apparently keep forgetting. Not only do you not have memories of that time gap, your memories even from before have almost been washed away. You constantly seem to forget that you even forgot, and only with extreme effort on your part can even the barest of memories be brought to surface.
Oliver would crease his brows in concentration, almost trying to grasp onto something before becoming frustrated. He swings his fist into a tree, screaming, I don't remember. I don't remember anything. As he kicks a rock and he walks off into the forest.
Well, that was easy. Sin turns to the other two. I didn't even use all the ammunition I had. Well, would you like to travel back to Highwatch now?
Statement. Was it necessary to antagonize him as much as you did?
Sin
I would like
sort
to
of-
roll damage against myself for that hit against the tree. I did not hold back.
Actually, the tree would roll damage against you.
Go ahead and roll a d4 plus 1.
Sin sort of places her hand against the tip of her mask in sort of like a, like she's annoyed to explain it, and she looks at Anak and she says, Anak, do you really think that he would have bothered telling us anything close to the amount he just did if I hadn't antagonized him?
No. Well, response. No. But he is a companion at the moment.
No,
You'd be surprised
he's
what you
not.
can get out of someone in a heart-to-heart.
He is a random guy who dragged us into this whole mess that he hired to help him deal with the Mantis. A job which, mind you, we have already completed, and now we're dragged into a whole mess with this Data individual because of his own inelegant bullshit. She then sort of sighs as she says, Look, Anak, I'm not friends with him. I'm not friends with him either, as she points to Gideon. I was just using him. No offense. Then she turns to look at you. The only person here that I actually care about is you.
Statement.
So I ask again. Do we go to High Watch now, or are we moving to the next town?
Statement. I feel we should give him at least a little more time. We would have been dragged into this Mantis mess
Sin.
anyways.
Sin sort of winces at Anak saying that last line before
Yeah,
she folds her
that
arms,
sounds-
and she says, he's got 3 days. We'll wait in High Watch until then. But he better have something good the next time he comes around.
Response. Agreed. And if it's alright, I would like to start looking into you. I wish to know
Feel free
more.
to do your best.
Enoch, getting
As long
permission.
as you don't get caught, I'll let you do whatever you want.
Enoch, getting permission. Would step towards you and reach for your mask.
And jumps back like a cat that just got sprayed with water. Then straight jumps back a full 20 feet away from you.
Just
Oh, yeah, that was
hisses
good.
at him.
Do you pursue Oliver?
Statement.
Or Anak?
So not that willing for my efforts.
I'm not gonna help you. No.
Are
Are you insane?
I would welcome you into my background. I would encourage it.
Sin gives him a flat look. My friend, you refuse to take gold from people. Your opinion is invalid.
Statement that is factually false. I prefer
Only
other
recently?
methods of constipation.
Constipation.
Oh, that's fair.
Compensation.
That's
Compensation.
fair. That's fair. You
Fine.
make a valid point. She then places her hand on her chin. Well, I guess you're just a better person than me then. Who knew?
Not me. No, it's
Are we going or not? Oh, by the way, thanks for helping,
Boss, I
Gideon.
suppose we must.
Good luck
Hold
with the
on.
rest of whatever you plan on doing. And Sin's gonna walk away.
I will find Oliver.
Enoch
And-
I
follows
was just
Sin.
about to say, Oliver would not be stealthing per se. He would be heading back to High Watch alert.
Alright.
Well, I guess I'll roll a survival check to follow him and catch up on his trail, assuming he's not too far, and if I even
Do
need
so.
one.
And are you
Sin is going
trying to
to
catch up?
after.
Yes.
Sorry.
You'll catch him in like 10 minutes.
All right.
After Sin and Anak are far enough away that Sin's gonna start a conversation with Anak.
Go ahead.
After we wander through the forest a bit, Sin sort of pauses Anak before she turns to you. All right, now that they're gone, let's follow them. And Sin's gonna begin tracking them
Nathan,
while trying to hide.
I am not the most stealthy.
That's fine. You
My
stay.
body.
I tell you what, this will work. You stay a solid 50 feet back, and I will go ahead and find them. I'll then guide you so that we are far enough away that you'll be out of sight, and I'll just run back and forth between the two of us. Sound fair?
Enoch would listen and stealthily, not stealth.
He
Go
does-
for it! Let's both roll stealth checks. Let's go!
He does the
Not so
Skyrim
stealth as
crouch.
stealth. Skyrim crouch.
Except this isn't Skyrim, so it doesn't do shit.
It's a Skyrim crouch, but the eyeball cursor is completely open.
Mhm.
I would also
God
mention-
Damn.
Let's freaking go!
I would also mention, as Oliver is walking, he would be reapplying his dye, which is now wet because of the water.
Go ahead and roll
Please.
me a survival
Wet and dry.
check, Sin, to see if you can even find their trail.
I mean, they're not trying to hide it, so it shouldn't be that hard.
I would
Yes,
say that it
but
would
you
be
have
somewhat.
no
difficult.
idea how to track. a
Hopefully,
forest.
come on. No, that's not great. That's 4.
I was
Four.
also going to say,
Wait.
Oliver, while
No,
he
it's
would
4.
not be hiding himself, he prefers the woods, so I would say he would be slightly off the trail as well.
If Sin can't find them, Sin's just gonna take Anak and her to the High Watch, and she's going to hold a stake out, because surely they're gonna take the gates.
Unfortunately, you have no idea how to track in the woods, and you quickly realize you cannot find them and do give up your search, but not informing Anak that you did not find them and just trace him back to
Of course.
Highwatch.
I tell him nothing.
I would actually say that just as Gideon catches up, Oliver would actually find a quiet place in the woods to sit down.
You come upon a small clearing, seeing Oliver sitting on a half-rotted log.
Are you all right?
I am now. I realize that
wanted.
sin hates me, but I also realize that it wasn't completely for himself, as you would like to make it seem.
Herself.
If I'm not mistaken, I
that's fine.
believe Sin is a woman.
No, I'm gonna make that canon. Oliver would. There would be surprise in his eyes slightly before he just pretends like it never existed.
I didn't slip up. English is hard. You misheard.
I wouldn't take it personally. She doesn't seem to take too kindly to most people.
You know, it's. I know her type. The kind people like her never have had easy past. Like me, but I imagine, to be honest, that hers was worse than mine. I have a sense for that kind of thing.
Well, being cast out by a kingdom is not easy.
Dude, I'm laughing and I'm not even there.
I prefer animals over people. They're much easier to understand. They don't hide their thoughts like people do. Almost as if to cue this, you actually watch as a critter literally scurries into the fields as Oliver will put down his hand and he literally picks up the critter without issue, without even a hint of fear or trepidation from the animal. I would say you would also might be able to piece together that he actually used his abilities to actually encourage the animal to him.
There is occasionally comfort in secrets. I can understand why people like to use them as a shield. Sometimes they may be frowned upon, but I believe that the choice of having secrets is why people are stronger than animals, although some may consider us mere animals regardless.
You sound like Eris.
And who might this Eris be?
Someone I met a long time ago, when I started working in High Watch. She's something of a friend to me. Almost as much as my employer.
When was the last time you spoke with this Eris?
He thinks for half a second, maybe half a week. She was on some sort of assignment.
Perhaps you're overdue a conversation.
Yes. Oliver very obviously trying to close the conversation here, feeling obviously slightly uncomfortable.
Obviously to you, maybe.
I said what I said. We
Well,
should make our way back.
I'm glad to hear it. Sin said she'd give you 3 days.
It seems that this won't last much longer then. I don't have much to give, as I mentioned before. I really don't. I've been trying all my life to find the answers she wants me to give her.
How long have you been without memories?
7, 8 years?
Do you know how much you've lost?
Everything before that. Not a single thing. Things come and go, but they disappear as fast as they reappear. It's all just flashes. Pain and anguish, and then nothing.
Have you tried writing it down? I hear that helps.
I've tried, with the assistance of my abilities, though not even that has been enough so far.
Do you know if you lost them through magical means?
Probably.
Well, I wish I knew the answer to help you.
So do I.
Well, maybe we can find it together.
Oliver turns to you. Can see why people like you. I admit I don't open to people easily. As he just continues to walk forward.
I've met people of all spectrums. I've found I am both easy to like and dislike. I'm glad for you, it is the former.
He won't say anything, but you can see in his eyes that he acknowledges what what you said. But he would be quiet as he continues his way towards High Watch.
And we would continue our journey to Highwatch, and I imagine we would be taking the front gate, so...
Indeed.
So, Sin, as you finally make your way to High Watch, how do you explain to a knock when Oliver is not there?
So, Din turns to Anak and she says, "All right, now that we're waiting for them, we need to have a chat." She turns and looks at you.
Does not even acknowledge it.
Statement, we track ahead of them?
Yes, but that's not what I'm talking about. So we can't actually let them go.
Enoch seems completely
That
lost. at this
3-day
point.
timeline I gave was completely a bluff, complete and total bullshit. I 100% plan on us grouping together with them. At the moment, I'm just trying to get both of them to sweat. I lost you, didn't I? What part did I lose you at?
The whole machinations.
All right. Well, to give you a bit more context, in the cave, when we were dealing with Data, he was reading over a couple of documents, one of which had Gideon's name on it. So that whole portion where I said this was all Oliver's fault, complete lie. We likely are all being investigated by this group, and there was no coincidence, trust me, that we all came together. Thus, even if you and me were to leave, we would likely get dragged in regardless. Because of that, well, there's safety in numbers, and I also am pretty much convinced that Oliver is telling the truth and he doesn't remember anything.
Query, why make them feel off ease?
Multiple reasons. First, whenever I put someone off balance or make them think that they know something that they don't, it always results in the person reacting in ways that are emotional. Reacting emotionally is where you can gain the most information about someone. For example, Oliver smashing his hand against that tree, his frustration, the overall confusion, it leads to a more genuine reaction, and you can most of the time tell far more about a person when they are panicked than when they are in the process of thinking. For example, I am pretty sure that Oliver is the reason his clan died, but I'm also pretty sure that he doesn't remember it.
Statement, you like messing with people, don't you?
She gets a sort of guilty look and she says, "I don't like it. It's just how we survive."
Oh, I thought it was like a playfully guilty look, like, like, I don't like it. I just think it's fun. That's what I thought you were going to do, but...
No, she gives an actual guilty look, but she then turns back to you and she says, "Look, it doesn't matter. If I have to be a bad person in order to become powerful, I will. no use in hiding from that. The point is that we need them as much as they need us, and a large portion of why I played everything off so much is because I want them to think that we don't need them, because it gives us a position of power in the negotiation.
Statement.
It's political
Technically-
manipulation 101.
Statement. Technically, we don't need them. We have
Why
allies,
is that?
or at least I do.
I'm aware that you have allies. However, you have to understand that we're in the Worm King Dominion. Your allies do not hold as much power here as they do back in your city. And even if they did, we still have an issue with the people that are running the show being part of the Worm King Dominion.
Statement.
Whoever's
I have allies
messing with
in
us,
the
and
Worm
for
King
whatever
Dominion
reason-
as well.
Yes, but those allies still need to follow orders.
That is true.
Do they not? Well, unfortunately, the foes we are dealing with are governmental officials. Your allies might not hold power. Not necessarily saying that they don't, but the point is that we shouldn't throw away cards that practically fell into our lap, especially when those cards are likely part of the same mess we're in.
Think this statement. Do you think this problem is large enough to require the aid of a Zurich city?
Probably
Is it
not.
worth me
Hopefully
calling
not.
home?
If it is that large, then I'm absolutely running away. But no, you should not call home. If you do call home, it could lead into political tensions between Azura City and the Worm King Dominion. It's safer if we just play things by ear. Oliver will figure something out. He's not that incompetent, I think. Despite how I might pretend he is. I'm giving them 3 days so that they can do their own work to try and get together and do their investigations. Which is why, she claps her hands and she turns to Anak, I need you to go with them. They're going to take the first gate, and I
you're
want
not?
you to group up with them when they do. I am going to do my own research in the meantime, and I also have to talk to that stupid pigeon as well.
Statement or response. Understood.
Alright. When you do meet up with them, make sure they don't find out that everything was part of my evil machinations, as we have decided to call them. As far as they know, you and me separated so that I could go collect the reward for our quest. Sound fair? Actually, you know what? Let's just make that the truth. I'll go collect the reward for the Purple Mantis hunt.
Response. Understood. So we don't want a good cop situation.
You can be the good cop, but it's more of a, do you think you can handle it? If so, feel free. I'm leaving things up to your capable hands. Even if you might not think so, I trust you. I think you're capable enough to handle the situation. So, good luck. Now, is there anything you need before I go?
I do need. Statement. I do need some of that purple mantis from you. I believe you have
She
it stored.
pulls out. She pulls out parts of the purple mantis. She says, "I hope it's all right if I keep the head, so that I can prove we defeated the creature." Or
Response. I
not
was
the head
planning as much.
necessarily, but very well. She takes out what she can, gives it to Anak before she says, "Oh, and by the way, good luck with investigating me. I'm curious to see what you'll find out." Before she is going to move behind Anak, and she's going to say, "Face forward, don't move." And then she's going to, behind Anak so that he can't see, she's going to take her mask off and she's going to kiss Anak on the cheek before she puts her mask back on. And she says, "Good luck." And she's going to run off into the city. actually taking the front gate this time before Gideon and Oliver get there.
Enoch would patrol the entrance of the woods from the front gate of Highwatch, I guess.
So you're patrolling the woods that are, just so you know, quite a ways distance from the entrance to Highwatch. Or do you want to patrol the actual
What
entrance?
Sin was telling you to do was just to sit at the entrance and wait for them because they're probably going to use that entrance.
He was planning on meeting up before they got to the entrance, patrolling the entrance to the wood, and being able to see the field hills.
Isn't a problem. It only takes them a few more minutes to actually arrive. You hear the heavy footfalls of Gideon and the feather-light steps of Oliver. You don't actually hear that, but yes. And you two as well hear the clanking of armor as Enoch appears to be patrolling back and forth in your path. Do you wish to avoid him, or do you wish to approach?
I see no reason to avoid him, but I would make a
no.
perception check for Sin, which would obviously not amount to anything.
Let's go ahead and roll a perception.
Gideon just announces they see Enoch, and even while Oliver is thinking, and then it's just, hello. Hello.
Response: you have arrived.
You do not see Sin anywhere nearby.
Okay.
Oh, wait, sorry. I sent you a message to say what I'm doing, John. In the meantime, carry on.
Where's our little friend?
Statement or response: she went to go claim the reward.
I like to think of him actually just going statement, response.
It's rough, man.
Yeah. No,
My
yeah,
programming
I get
has a bug.
it.
It's not efficient yet.
All right. Why did she just tell you to accompany us in the meantime?
But response: I figured it would be best to join with you guys, as it seems we're not entirely safe.
I would nod.
Oliver would nod at this as well, but he doesn't seem... Well, let's just say something is off with the way he reacted to it.
Very. Is he alright? Mainly directing this at Gideon.
Mm-hmm. Gideon would just look towards Oliver.
I'm fine. We do need to figure out who those people were, though. If they are connected to who they might be. I won't take
Response:
any chances with them.
They were the Ashcloaks.
He seemed
He
connected
nods.
to them in a way.
I missed what you said, Gideon.
He does seem connected to them in a way, though I don't know much about these ash cloaks you speak of.
I would like to head to the guardhouse first. I'm hoping my employer knows something more.
Time for the overdue conversation then.
Again, I missed what you said. I think the music is too loud on this. One
Probably.
moment.
You physically turn it down.
I am working on that as we speak. I just need to remember how to actually do that.
I don't
Bottom
think I'm
right-hand
going to
corner,
try it.
settings, sound, turn it down. Or I guess the music icon on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I did that. We're
I
good.
can be more loud if I need be, but I'm pretty sure I'm being loud enough.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. No, it's not you. It was literally, for some reason, my music went up when I clicked on the window, and I don't know why. But I fixed it. It's fine.
Suggestion: I was figuring I could use your guys' aid in discerning the transformation from the child to the mantis. As you have the
I
medical
did
and
agree to
Oliver
that.
can help me with the alchemy.
I see no reason not to. However, I think it may
That
be
is-
best to speak with his employer first.
My thoughts, exactly.
Response should be fine.
Also note that Daniel and Justin are the only ones who are actually keeping their voices, like actually keeping on top of it. I need to be more attentive to that.
It's like Bo's doing it just fine too. You're the only
He's got
one.
it like
Yeah.
he's got it 90% of the time.
I'm
You
trying to
just
do my
swiftly
freaking
lead the
starting
way.
statements things.
It's a struggle bus for sure. Gotta keep up on it.
Yep. It's kind of hard
Begin.
because it hurts my throat a little bit, but I'll get used to it.
Right.
Choose a voice that hurts your throat.
Well, that's the problem. Any voice that I use that is not my normal, I feel like hurts me a little bit.
Fucking what?
The more
I
you
don't
do
know.
it, he just doesn't have stretchy vocal cords. Bro's just got to practice other voices, and then the more he does it, the better it'll be. Hurting your
Correct.
throat, doing things, speaking in different ways isn't bad for you. It's actually good for you.
To an extent.
Fair.
Don't talk like
Oh, as long as you don't do it too bad.
Don't talk like fiddlesticks.
I don't know. If you do that enough every so often, then eventually you'll be able to do it more, and it'll be good for you.
Yes.
No. You just can't do it
Kinda.
too much. It's like working out. It's like working out in the gym. Like, yeah, there is such a thing as working out in the gym, and obviously you want your muscles to burn. Obviously you want it to be sore. But there's also a certain point where you go too far in the gym, and you actually damage yourself, like breaking a bone
Yeah,
or
it's
knocking
pulling a
joint
muscle
out of
most of
socket.
the time, but yes.
And
Or tearing something.
the reason why I say Fiddlesticks voice is because the voice actor literally came out with a tutorial. This is how you do Fiddlesticks voice without fucking up your vocal cords.
True.
'Cause you
Anyway,
can
continuing.
fuck up your vocal cords.
Oliver and I'm assuming Gideon and Anok would be heading to the guardhouse.
Alright.
Yes, I did gesture for you to lead the way.
As you make your way past the entrance to High Watch, Oliver nodding to the two guards on duty, moving past, heading into the guild hall itself. You are just heading directly to Commander Vera's quarters, correct?
Correct. I'd be notifying someone to let her know that I'm here, but I'd be waiting in the meantime.
One of the children that are employed as runners would take off with your message, making certain to get there well ahead of you. You make your way up a couple flights of stairs, finding her office. Knocking. Once you would hear the soft voice. Enter.
As I would open the
That did
door,
not sound
I
soft to
would,
me.
on the way there, I would almost hesitantly, very obviously hesitantly invite you two in with me. As
Enoch
I
would
walk in,
Step in
and-
proudly.
No hesitation.
As you all
Yep,
walk
Knock
in.
steps in like he owns the place. He's doing his best to impersonate Sin.
As you all walk in, you see a very simple room. It has two chairs in front of a desk with a single chair behind it. No lavishments whatsoever. This is a place of work and a place of military. There's no room for flattery or decoration. Behind it, you see a female dragonborn, red scales. She has a very fine military attire, armor from toe up to her neck, with pauldrons that accentuate her build, with a flowing red cape draped over the back of the chair she is sitting on. She has jutting scales out of the back of her head, with two prominent black horns jutting parallel to her jaw. her eyes the piercing golden yellow of the Worm King Dominion. She's currently writing down something on a piece of paper as she glances up.
Ah, Oliver. I presume you were successful.
We were, though there were some new enlightenments.
Her eyes glance.
As he would continue to just relay everything that has happened since his last report, since they last left High Watch.
As you're talking, she leans over, picking up your last report that she glances over one more time.
I see here 3 other individuals, and yet my eyes only count 2.
I would almost too open for the other 2 in the room, would notice that I don't hide anything from Vera, quickly explaining what happened with Sin on the way back. Hiding nothing despite the faults that he might be at in this situation.
So, they know as much as I do, it seems. Really willing to trust strangers that easily. Not the Oliver I know.
Oliver almost looks at her questioningly, almost asking himself that same question. He nods. It seems that we are, for better or worse, stuck together for now. Considering what we saw in the cave, it suggests that we are wanted in the same place.
Well,
I was hoping you'd be able to expand on that.
you're referring to the individual data, correct?
I am.
Unfortunately, that is confidential. I am not at liberty to tell you anything about the individual.
I'm sorry.
He nods. He almost looks astounded at this information, but he doesn't say anything more. What do you want done next, Commander?
She nods.
That is why I like you.
She grabs a second piece of paper and sets it in front of the desk.
I desire more information on these vampires, as the locals have dubbed them, and I like the name.
Would I pick up any insinuation on that? Orders that were not explicitly stated, so to speak?
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Since it's Vera and I'm used to this, what can I use advantage on this?
Why would you have advantage on this?
I figured just because it's something I would know well and be used to.
You're also really good at hunting, and yet you didn't have advantage on that either.
That's fair.
That's the whole point of proficiency, my guy.
That's also fair. That is that. 8.
That being 8.
Yeah, I couldn't see it because I was on a different tab.
How'd you roll on it if you were on a different tab?
He's just that good.
Something.
You would notice something in her eyes, but you're unable to place exactly what.
Just one more time, will you repeat what
Can
you
I
said?
insight when she mentioned vampires, by the way?
Insight what specifically?
Why she's interested? Or how
is
much she
not
seems to know about it?
That is something you could insight. You could not insert insight why they're interested in something. You could insight whether they are interested in something. But insight is not mind reading. Insight is to tell the emotional investment in something, I guess is the best way to phrase that. And
You could also use it to try and sniff out like suspicion and stuff. Like for example, you could, if she suspects that one of us is a vampire, you could use insight to see if she suspects something like that. Not as in like you'd actually know she suspects it, but as in, oh, I insight to see if she's suspicious of us. But even then, even if you pass in that scenario, you'll just know whether or not she was suspicious, not whether or not she actually thinks one of us would be a vampire, right?
Alright, and to repeat what I said before, Oliver, you noticed something in her eyes, but you are unable to determine what.
Would I be allowed to retry this insight with disadvantage later?
What do you mean?
Like looking back on it?
No.
Like, for example, if new information came up, I'm just asking if that is something that would be
Describe new
allowed.
information.
Like new information that could easily be connected. Like they say something and then something shows up that is obviously connected to what they said. Basically adding more information to it.
At that point, John would probably be like, "Oh, now that you think about it, like you have this information," and basically John would bring it up if that was the
I
case.
just was curious how that would work in D&D. I was just asking.
The answer is the universal rule for everything, unless otherwise stated, is you can roll maximum of twice per something with different people. And what I mean by that is, if you insight someone and someone gives you advantage, that's 2 people, that's 2 d20s, that's your maximum for that roll. The only way you personally could roll twice for a single instance is if you do something unique enough to warrant another roll.
What if I try really hard?
And your name is not Alias.
John,
Oui, mademoiselle.
may I ask a question?
Oui, mademoiselle.
Does Coldraz's cloak actually look like that?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Balls! Just making another
Bro's looking through the pictures.
Sin adds one more stop on her to-do list.
I was wondering if you would notice.
Is Coldraz the
Wait,
Captain Dark?
that motherfucker was faking it! Man, I've got so many different paths open now. Alright, now this is the point where now that I'm actually looking for him because I figured something out, he's gonna be gone. Just wait.
Alright. That threw me off so hard. What was I doing?
Sorry, I needed to ask. It's important information.
I believe Vera had just mentioned what she wants us to do. We haven't gotten any farther than that.
Right. So she places the piece of paper. Yes. Vampire. Oh, right. Anak was inciting. That's right. I remember.
I rolled an 8.
You would not. She is hard to read. You are unable to pin down her emotional state. Apparently, these vampires are a little more commonly spread than I would like.
And what exactly are these vampires, if you don't mind me asking?
She glances at you and then glances at Oliver with an eyebrow raised. You didn't inform them of what they hunted?
I do believe I did do that, just to double check, correct?
Mostly.
Statement. You are saying the mantis was a vampire?
Correct.
I don't believe you mentioned that before.
She did not.
He would shake his
Knock
head
would-
no.
Contemplate.
Well, unless... Okay, I think... He would actually just... Let me think about how I want to phrase this real quick.
They are a new addition to this scale. One I want more information on.
He would nod his head at what she said in that case, I think. They know that the mantis was a former child.
Her eyes widen.
What?
Again, I believe she would know this. Again, I explained everything from the report.
So you wrote down what you had for breakfast.
No,
Saying
but
you
that...
explained everything does not mean you explained everything.
Well, to me, that is
And that
everything
was a,
that is
that
important.
was a
here.
theory
Is that-
on
hold on,
Sin's
hold on.
part.
I got this. This is. We're gonna say this because apparently Oliver assumed and didn't. We're gonna say that Oliver wrote it down in his report that he put down, and she hasn't read the report yet. So Oliver thought she knew, but she didn't. I think
Sure.
that'll work for
Fair
the
enough.
miscommunication there.
I put it in my report.
Her eyes narrow and she reaches under her desk and pulls out a very familiar looking piece of paper, and her eyes scan through it.
I glanced at it, but you didn't. I see. Does the creature still live?
I would recount the fight with the mantis, Data having clouded the area and the details of the mantis's demise. It was unnatural how the wound was shaped. It is my belief that Data intended to frame me for the death of the mantis.
Her lips curl in a small snarl.
That snake.
I want to incite that.
Inside what?
Gideon. Her
That
calling him a
snake
snake.
specifically. What emotions are included in that? Is that just anger?
It's pretty obvious.
I'm looking for
Disdain.
obviously disdain, but I'm looking for basically Oliver is careful when it comes to Vera. Even when he thinks there might be nothing, he's always looking for more. Hidden intentions and whatnot.
Alright, go ahead and roll an insight.
Gideon standing there a little confused as to how the topic suddenly shifted to snakes, but
It's okay, Gideon. Sin will help you.
13.
You will get subtext yet.
You
I
have
will learn.
picked up what you have picked up.
All right.
Her eyes are currently furtively glancing to side as her mind is basically working, connecting ideas.
I must ask, if we meet Data again, do I treat him as an enemy?
Her eyes pause at this point. Her teeth grinding ever so softly.
That is confidential information.
He would, very obviously be trying to read her, looking for information that she wants to give but clearly cannot, before he nods his head.
Enoch would interjection. You want him to decide at the moment, then?
She glances at you.
I cannot sway his decision. He is not officially part of the Worm King Dominion military. He is not beholden to the same rules as
I understand. As I promised, I will do whatever it is that you need me to do, without fail.
She thinks about it for a second and then reaches down and she pulls out a bag before hesitating and reaching down and pulling out a second bag. And she sets them on the table. The very obvious clink of coins.
Just be careful. Moving forward.
He nods his head.
You have stepped into a game you are not ready to play.
It seems you need some better pawns. He seems this almost referring to himself as he says that. You will see it done.
She will just nod.
At this point, he will take... I don't believe... Oh, yeah, okay. Did you have a location in mind for our next assignment?
She just taps the piece of paper, almost purposely keeping her mouth shut at this point.
He grabs the piece of paper, purposefully in a position where the other two can read it, and he would read it over.
Picking up the piece of paper, all it says is that further sightings of vampires in the surrounding area. The mantis being the most common, but there have been other variations. The reason why they make the connection that these are the similar creatures is because of their speed and the vibrant purple that is always present. These creatures can be a combination of insects, animals, fish. They almost appear to be popping up from nowhere before vanishing without a trace.
When he reads over that specifically, he'll glance at Vera, as though understanding something suddenly, before turning his gaze back to the piece of paper.
Very rarely do they attack sentients, but there have been a few cases. A village having one release, and it taking the entire village to bring it down.
Vampire was that? Did it mention?
Sorry, what?
What kind of vampire was that?
It was
Being its shape.
It was a vampire that was combined with almost the shape of a bear.
Can I roll an intelligence check? I have a theory. My theory is that she does not actually want us to be put on this mission. Rather, it is the influence of someone else that has caused our current circumstance.
Was the bear larger than a bear would normally be, or about equivalent size?
Almost the size of a human. Humanoid, I should say.
So smaller than a bear usually is.
Yes. One might say it is a medium-sized creature, whereas bears are normally large-sized.
I
Okay.
apologize. I interrupted Justin when I said that. I do want to roll an intelligence check, if I can. I have a theory that I want to think over, basically. It is my theory that somebody else is the cause for our circumstance where we are assigned to this current assignment, rather than just Vera. Somebody else is put their weight in, so to speak.
Okay. And you're wanting an intelligence check for me to confirm that?
Basically, Oliver thinking over this, looking for information that might support or oppose this theory. Just things he knows, and
It is a viable theory. I do not see how an
I-
intelligence check would help with that.
Yeah.
fair enough.
I'm not going to do the thinking for you. If you wanted to confirm some things, like if you wanted to say, if you asked Vera a question of like, did this come from you or did this come from someone above you? That's fine.
All right. I was hoping not to say it out loud, but
I mean, that's
I will.
It's just you have the information that you have. I'm not going to manifest more information from the ether.
Yeah, that makes sense. It was just more hoping that there was something that we never really talked about, but Oliver would know, if that makes sense.
This
Um,
is a situation that comes up
okay.
every 2 weeks in Oliver's life. 100%.
Yes.
More looking, knowing that she can't answer, he will be looking at her eyes, letting her eyes speak for her. Is this something that you assigned to us, or is this someone else putting their weight in?
She meets your gaze.
I gave you the paper.
He nods. I understand. And he will bow slightly, relieving himself from the room
I would
as
follow suit.
he'll head towards my office. I will
Nock would nod
make my way
at
there.
Varys and follow behind them.
And now I apologize. I just need 2 seconds to actually confirm one thing.
He's in cahoots with Bo.
Baby, you don't know anything. You can't prove shit.
I literally have your DM logs right here. I can see them. Be extra funny if they were actually messaging in the private chat in the server that I do have hidden from myself. So I actually can't see it, but it
Again, please don't look.
is. This is what it looks like to me. It is simply.
He's gone.
It's not even there.
Go ahead. How would... I don't even know. How would you... That's not something you... How about we put a pin in this for now? I have no idea how that would work. I don't even know if that would work.
It would.
Ah, shit, Daniel said, okay, wisdom save.
All right, he wants me to throw a wisdom save.
All right, if you.
Perfect.
All right. This is how we're gonna word this. I guess I should type it out.
I was talking about how I dropped a board on his foot, and despite the pain, he pulled it all the way through to the other side.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Nothing. Bo smiled. He got it.
He dropped a board on his foot?
David was referencing a past thing that I did not drop the board on my foot. He dropped the board on my foot, to be clear, but it's stupid. Regardless, you can go back to the other people, John. I'm gonna send you a message, but you don't need to read it right away. So just go back.
All right. So as you are all exiting Vera's office, just before you leave Oliver, you do see Vera stand up and grab her greatsword that was leaning against the corner of the room.
His eyes would immediately, with the split second that he has, search the room for someone that might have been there but never been noticed.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Watch, it's going to be a natural 20. It's a natural 12 for a 16.
Your eyes scan the room, but you see nothing out of the ordinary.
I sent you my response.
Enoch also
Interesting.
would have grabbed his weapon, by the way. Mainly looking at Vera.
Sorry, Enoch would what?
Also grab his weapon, as I was having Enoch be the last
So-
one to leave.
Enoch was the last one to leave? I was under the assumption Oliver would be the last one to leave, but yeah, that works. She just shakes her head silently.
Just being cautious.
Enoch would nod, scan, and then leave. Assuming nothing came up.
You also would not be able to see anything in the room.
Yeah.
Out of the ordinary.
I figured we didn't want 2 perception checks.
Oliver would head to his office. That clearly on his mind as he restocks his poisons. Also counting his poisons and making sure nothing was touched. Even looking at the variations of the colors of the poisons, knowing everything about them.
I suppose. Your vials would be undisturbed.
I would, again, carefully leave them where they were, even the positions set in an exact orientation and seemingly meticulously sorted through the drawers as he restocks his bag, adding certain poisons, removing certain items, and adding what you assume to be ingredients. As he puts them back in his bag, and he will walk back out of his office to meet Anak and Gideon as he nods. We are ready to leave.
Wait, do we not want to look into the Mantis before we leave? Even if it's just more information on these vampires. Preferably we would want why they transformed.
My
The cause and
apologies.
such.
When I said leave, I meant to go find Sin.
I feel we could do this first, as Sin isn't necessary for this, and she has her own business to attend.
I see. In that case, he gestures to you.
Do we do it in your office, or do you prefer another place?
I do have a station here that I use. The materials are in my office. As he
Sorry,
would,
the materials for what
Lead the
exactly?
way.
as he would invite you in. I will again warn you, however, this is not my specific expertise. I cannot promise results.
Response, that should be fine. And response again, the materials to get, I don't know actually the chemical name, but like what you use to like get reactions from it,
A catalyst?
like testing. Maybe?
Reagent?
A reagent probably sounds right.
I'm not an alchemist person either. So,
Assuming I gave you the right words. I'm not going to say as such.
As he would take the materials, he would actually invite Gideon over to assist him with this, since I do not have a very high plus in this. I'm
Alright.
assuming it would just be. Actually, what role would this be?
What's your alchemist plus right now, David?
I'm looking it up.
You have proficiency in alchemist supplies. It should
Yep.
be there underneath your skills. You should have tools.
Da-da-da.
Even though, hey John, do you know why I'm getting more tools proficiencies on Foundry than I actually have?
no.
Like I'm not
What tool
proficient in the
proficiencies are you
flute
referencing?
or
specifically?
sieve tools,
I do not have my.
and I don't think I have cartography.
I'm pretty sure that's just showing proficiencies of everyone.
It would just be my poisoner's kit, is what I was using, correct?
Yeah, for some reason, it's giving you more proficiencies. Just go with the ones on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, just do only use proficiencies that you have, and you'll be
Okay.
good.
That's a 10 on me.
Why are you using poisoner's kit?
That's what I have.
I was talking to Justin, not you.
Makes sense.
Alright,
That's
so
why I
I
was
guess
specifying.
should I roll
know
with advantage
poison.
on the alchemist supplies?
I apologize. I have been discussing with Bo, and I was only half paying attention. What exactly are you guys doing?
Well, for me specifically, I would be basically testing what I know about poisons to see if I can discern what the chemical is that a knock has given to me. But I obviously wouldn't be able to tell unless it was a poison of some sort.
What is that chemical?
I'm not giving any chemical. I'm giving like shavings of its carapace and some of its flesh. and we're trying to
I
see if
suppose
we
I
can
would've-
find anything that seems out of place.
Fair enough. I don't know what I'd be able to find with my poison.
Not what you would expect to find in a mantis or a human child.
I suppose I would use my knowledge of poisons to see what if I could find anything weird.
So you are attempting to determine the alchemical properties of this mantis scale.
And then using Gideon's
Yes.
medical knowledge.
Essentially, yeah, the
to-
three of us are working together using alchemical properties, medical knowledge, and poison knowledge to discern information about
All right.
perhaps maybe the transformation process or anything we can learn, essentially.
I don't know how you want to
You
make
all
this
do
roll.
not know how happy I am for John's consistency rule right now.
Why did you mess up a roll? Everybody was in the wrong thing,
It
so
was the
you.
wrong thing and you rerolled and passed
I
the DC.
did. Yep, I did. I lugged out so bad there. Thank goodness for the consistency rule, man.
Oh, I suppose I would
you
also
lucky
add-
bastard. Alright.
remind me what the rule was when we were adding together medicines, like or rather assisting someone as what I meant.
Advantage.
Advantage. All right. In which case, Gideon would have advantage.
All right.
Technically, in this particular case, all three of you, since all three of you are working on this, and yes, I know, that's why I said
I see.
Exceptions to the rule, all three of you would be rolling in straight rolls, each of your
Mhm.
own profession.
Gotcha.
Okay. I got a 15.
I got a 20,
10 in my case. I already rolled.
Alright.
10, 15, 20.
So the three of you working together on this, it would take a decent amount of time. I want to say an hour, maybe two. Running different tests, trying to determine what this is. You're not able to figure out what the exact quote-unquote poison, I'm using the word poison liberally here, was used
Liberal.
to turn this creature, but you do know it is a combination of alchemy and magic. You're not able to determine how or what, but it is not obvious, but detectable. The traces of the weave and the traces of the residue of alchemical components used to create this creature.
So that's
Everything's
where
down.
it's magic alchemy bullshit.
I've put thought process into it, but you guys have a single goddamn scale. You can only learn so much.
What do you mean?
We've
I know
learned
you have the
on
entire
magic
creature,
now.
but
Yeah.
you can only learn so much. It's kind of like if you know the answer is 4, how do you reverse engineer that into getting 2 plus 2?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. I was just letting you know that they had more than one scale
I
in
know.
case that was changing.
They just said scale, and that was where my brain was. But yes, they do have the entire creature.
Not the head.
Clearly, the most important part.
And that
You
made
guys would've
all the
succeeded.
difference.
You guys would have succeeded. Sorry.
Zen! Get your ass back here!
Were we able to confirm
Yeah!
that or see any evidence that leads back to that? Can we see anything of what it was?
Are any of you like I think the word is mortician, someone who basically works with corpses and knows the human body, or I guess the.
I probably would
sentient
because I'm
body?
technically was taught in medicine. I imagine that
That's
I
fair.
studied bodies.
I would be proficient in dissecting. with monster harvesting and learning how to take things apart.
Gideon's also proficient in medicine, so I imagine between the group, they probably.
I
all
would
got-
say in
they've probably
Gideon's
got all
case,
the
he
skills
probably
necessary.
wasn't formally taught, though.
The
It probably.
organs
I'm assuming.
inside the creature, after actually taking time, do appear to be that of a warped human. Almost as if the organs, some of them stretched, some of them elongated, some of them twisted, but they
That's
do
not
appear
mortifying.
to originally have been human.
You're right. It's not.
I knew he was a sick bastard deep down.
This is the work of an abomination.
Maybe. I'm sorry.
I'll roll a performance check real quick. No.
Is there anything else you wish to do with the new information you have acquired?
I'm noting this down.
I would say Oliver lets his ability, or rather his mental connection to people almost shudder slightly, which I am not sure how that might be sensed by others, but I assume it would be sensed in some way. As he just
I don't
lets...
think so.
Fair enough. But I would say that Oliver would very clearly become agitated.
He
just
seems
looking
perturbed.
at this.
Is this something you should bring to your...
Roll a wisdom save for me, Oliver.
commander?
Oh no, I've got a hunch what this is.
One moment.
Canuck was the only one that was bitten by the mantis, right?
It's never bitten.
Did you say that the mandibles was
So-
what tore up my throat?
Yes, but like, it's not a zombie bite. Well, maybe.
I mean, You
I
called it a
guess-
vampire.
Okay, this is how I will phrase that. The chunk of you that was bitten was ripped off. Do with that information what you will.
I figured Enoch wasn't very turnable anyways, being made of metal, but
You'd be surprised.
Say that to the zombie warforged
That's an
coming
8.
for us.
You don't feel any different, but you just get a bad feeling.
I've got a bad feeling about this, sir.
how much did Enoch actually know about vampires? He's heard of this before all of this.
Next
Does he know
to
anything
nothing.
different? Okay.
You've heard.
He's heard rumors though, right?
You've
So
heard
he knows
rumors
what
that they're-
Justin knows about
Yeah,
vampires, right?
Yes. You have heard rumors. So, like, take vampires from modern era, the bloodsucker, the weakness to sunlight, and all that shit. You've heard all of those rumors. You've heard dozens of others as well. It's the best way I can describe it is that no one knows what a vampire is, and everyone thinks they know what a vampire is. And so you
Okay.
have heard every.
So I
rumor under
have
the sun.
heard of the vampires turning each other and all that crap.
Yes.
Oliver has almost frozen in place, and almost hairs sticking on end as he stands up and looks around the room. This time, actually being in the room, takes a very close look at the as much detail as possible, looking for anything out of place.
Roll a perception check.
Well, Oliver, what do you wish to do with this information?
1 second, rolling perception. 19.
Let's see here. You do not see anything. The walls are barren.
Enoch looking up at Oliver after seeing him looking around. Statement: is there something wrong? Or I guess query would be better for that.
It's just not statement is something. I guess query would be better for that.
Statement is something. Query is something wrong.
Oliver
Enoch seems
would-
to have his circuits fried a little bit.
Oliver would look back towards the body slowly. I
The
believe
pieces.
that perhaps my connection to my original body was either severed or perhaps my connection to it was unstable for a moment. And
Wait, did
my-
you just say original body?
Yes. Specifically, Gideon would know what I was talking about slightly, kind of. You would know absolutely nothing. This is new information for Enoch.
Enoch pokes you.
Query.
As he's
Original body.
talking, as he's talking, he hesitates. Apologies. As mentioned, I woke up in a separate body, but I am tentatively connected to my original one. I believe that
I don't
something
believe you
might
mentioned
be
that.
happening on the other side, but I'm not sure what. I just got an inexplicable feeling just now that put me on edge.
Response:
Mentioned waking
You
up with
never mentioned that.
Points. Points to Enoch. You mentioned waking up without memories, not in a completely different body.
I do actually believe I said a body that wasn't my own. Those exact words, actually. when I think about it.
Technically, he might have said that.
I don't
You mentioned
remember
it
that.
later. So, specifically how it went down, and granted this just from my own memory, is that he said that he woke up without memories, and then like 5 minutes later, he mentioned that he was not in his original body. It was a very smooth transition, so it makes sense no one else caught it, but he
Mhm.
did mention it during the conversation with Sin.
Hey, chat, is this guy just lying out of his ass? Don't you know? Mods, fact check this information.
I do believe I mentioned it in the conversation with Sin, but when I awoke, I awoke in a different body than what my original one is.
Interesting. He just like leans down to you and whispers, "If it's a different body, why is your hair still purple?"
He'd look at you and just shrug.
I just shrug back. I ask again, what are we to do with this information then?
Well,
The reincarnation spell doesn't exist, right?
my belief is that Sin would have more information on this. He
Reincarnation.
clearly knows more than the rest of us. I say we need to gather together and
Listen,
Sorry,
he
you-
pauses and I think he's done, and then he keeps talking and I try and stop.
Sorry, you go first. I'll go after.
I believe reincarnation is a 5th level spell, but I do need to double check that.
I thought it was higher level.
Reincarnate is a 5th level spell. I was
Also, heads up to the rest of you, just so you guys know, a 5th level spell is not the peak of this world.
Yes.
John just said that's the peak level a person can reach. You could
Kind
have
of.
like wizards that are teaming up together to cast higher level spells, or like items. You could have special items that could cast higher level spells. Like 9th level spells do exist in this world. It's just that no one's gonna be able to cast them normally.
The only way a 9th level spell would exist is if a organization, and I mean it, or like the Worm King Dominion in its entirety, pooled its entire resource pool for a year just to cast one 9th level spell. That's how rare
That should
we're
be
talking
canon, by
about
the
it.
way. That should absolutely be canon. Those should exist.
The fuck do you mean that should be canon? It is canon. That's what I just fucking
Fair
said.
enough. Good. Good. That's
And
dope.
the reincarnate spell, it's not going to be something one person would normally have
The
access to.
reincarnate spell is a 5th level spell, which
Fun
you get
fact,
at 9th level.
you guys
which does
actually-
exist.
Yes, but there's
Fun
not
fact,
a
you
lot of
guys,
people that
like
high.
all your characters actually know of one of these quote unquote artifacts. It exists in the Strife Marches.
Kind of. That's
That said,
that's-
Well, I mean,
that's rumor.
from
Technically.
what they know, isn't it their like religious artifact?
Yes. So again,
isn't that what we know?
they
They've got a
don't
religious
know-
artifact that is like their
no
god.
no one knows the specifics of it, but they do know that it is an artifact that is allowing the Strife Marches to be permanently nighttime, and they do worship it as their deity. That is
Yeah,
all
so
they know.
there you go.
That is
You guys literally have an example of an item that very clearly is casting a spell higher than 9th level. I don't know if I cut myself off.
You
the
did.
you did.
I said at least
Probably.
I said at least I assume it's a spell of some kind, unless it's actually a god, but
Just
that
natural
seems
phenomenon.
unlikely.
All right.
Anyway,
Did
back to
Oliver
what.
actually answer Gideon's question?
Yes. We should find Sin. He seemed to have more information as well. I'd like to converse with him and find what he knows.
One of these days, Sin's gonna kick you in the balls when you call her dude.
Hey, that time, well, well, you're not here. Well, there you go.
No balls to kick though.
David does seem to do it purposely when Sin is gone, and it's kind of hilarious.
It's the only way he can get back
All
at
right.
her.
So is what I'm understanding you are going to try and find Sin?
Yes.
I guess so.
And you
I'm
do
not gonna lie. Bo playing a female character is throwing me off so bad. I admit. But I
be thrown off.
would. Anak, do you know where Sin headed?
He went to response. He went to the guild to return the monster, or not monster, child, whatever we want to call it. The mantis slash
Means
vampire, whatever it is.
In other words, she's doing her own thing for the foreseeable future. As he sighs, in that case, finding her won't be an easy task. As he considers this, he thinks it over. How much money did we actually get given?
As you finally pull out the 3 bag of coins to check, it appears that each bag contains 1,000 gold pieces.
John's like, finally!
Dang.
That's a lot,
Each
right?
bag?
Interesting.
Each bag. And you have 2
I
We're
only
bags.
heard-
making bank. Oh,
I was about to say, I was like, he says each bag, but there's only one bag.
2 bags. She originally was just going to place 1, but then thought better of it and placed 2.
David's apparently gone.
Why?
Not sure why.
Not sure why.
The internet didn't go out. I'm still connected to it.
He-
Yeah, because the freaking power went out, so you got to restart your thing. Because there's your power box turned on. You just got to turn your splitter back on.
Oh,
David's gonna be.
Did he unplug himself or press a button that he shouldn't have?
No, the power got shut off. I'm pretty sure my dad switched to the. He switched from grid to the solar panels.
So power went off for like a second. So he's trying to get back online.
And you have a reserve of power. I don't know what the computer is called. Computer power reserve is called, but I don't know.
Power strip. I don't know. I don't care.
Or block. I don't know.
Place
Roblox.
where power cord go give computer life.
He's figuring stuff out. He's figuring stuff out.
Well, we do kind of need him for this next part.
It's okay. For
In
no
the
reason,
meantime, do any
spontaneously,
conversations
Gideon-
happen between Enoch and Gideon?
Gideon picks up Oliver, and we just go. It's like mid Oliver conversation, just picks him up. All right, here we go.
So you are
I'm gonna go
heading.
sell you now.
Bubbles be bubbles.
No.
I know. Gumbush. All right. So brain not working. You are not going to find Sin. You are going to do something else. Is what I heard David last say before he died.
An awkward planning on finding Sin.
All right.
Oliver says that he's apparently got something planned for this. He like gets a headache and shuts down. Carry on, John, with whatever that means. I have no idea.
All right. How exactly do you go about finding Sin? She did tell you that she was at the guild hall, but that is the only direction you have.
I mean, the question is,
Start at the guild hall.
You are currently in the guild hall. You, just to remind you, the guard barracks is synonymous with the guild hall.
I did.
so Oliver
forget that.
didn't shut down. Here he is. He's right there. I see him.
He's right here.
Right there.
He's right there.
He's back.
He's right there.
Close the door.
We're on a cow farm. There's gotta be cows outside.
So yeah, you would know that the effective lobby, the first floor, is where mercenaries show up to get their quote-unquote quests and to turn in their quests.
And I'm assuming there is no Sin.
There was no Sin when you Oliver, and Gideon walked in.
Although I imagine that Enoch would have taken note of the fact that the Purple Mantis quest is gone now.
Yes. You would have glanced at the bounty board where the Purple Mantis quest that you've been looking at for the past month would be taken down.
Sin's been here. We can ask the receptionist and see if they know. I doubt they will, but nothing else better to do. We don't want to leave on our vampire mission without her.
Sin seemed interested in finding Mira. You could pay her.
I'm in agreement. I would say, with the time we have, we should find protection from powerful influences, but that is easier said than done.
Enoch's still going to go to the receptionist.
Alright. Do Gideon and Oliver follow?
I would.
Oliver would stay back at a distance where he could listen in, but would obviously not be part of the conversation, quote unquote.
Alright. Making your way to the reception area. Seems there is a burly dwarf running the counter currently. As you step up, he just name and business. Place your symbol there. As he just places his finger on the desk.
Enoch places his badge or symbol.
Picks
Statement,
it up and
Enoch.
His mercenary tag. I see.
Query.
yes.
Query. There was recently Purple Mantis turned in by my compatriot Sin. I need the head. I need to look into something.
Sin. Oh yeah, the masked one. She was in here a few minutes ago. Turned in the quest. Provided proof of kill. We gave her the reward. We're not giving it again. She kept the kill.
Query, so she still has a head?
Correct. Anything else?
Thank you, sir. That is all. Appreciate it.
Next!
Enoch would move off. To, Mira, I guess.
Alright. Are you heading to her stall?
Depends on the time of day.
It is. I would say it's afternoon, just probably around 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
And that's
Wait, hold on.
post stall time, right?
I feel like
Yes.
3 was after stall time.
No, I'm pretty sure
She was just there in
it's-
the morning.
All right,
You
head to
mentioned
her
the.
actual shop then.
I imagine the document that Vera gave me mentioned details on the vampires. Did it mention a weakness to sunlight? I assume it would have, if
It
they're actual vampires.
has, again, similar to the first report, very little is known. The only thing is that she is locations of sightings of these creatures. She has
We do
tasked
know-
you with learning more about them.
What are the specific locations of these?
Surrounding villages.
No.
There has
Specific-
been no sightings in Highwatch or Dawnford, just small little settlements just dotted along the landscape.
So small settlements that are not too big, where people would go missing, but not.
No one went
Cause a
missing.
panic.
Again, very few people actually encountered them, and the
I
times
see.
they did encounter them, the entire village fought it with several casualties.
Got it.
If I might add something in here, they don't seem to have a weakness to sunlight as they're not nocturnal. At least the mantis wasn't.
That is your assumption.
We fought it in the day. Me and Sin
Correct.
the first time.
Correct.
There was no canopy over there.
Nope.
Very
We were in
likely it
daylight,
doesn't have a
for sure.
weakness to sun.
Is there a spell like teleportation or something?
Teleportation.
Yes, but it's 7th level,
circle
so people can't
is
cast it.
5th level. So the highest of the high can teleport between pre-designated teleportation circles. But
And I'm
7th
assuming
level
those
is-
circles would be had to be placed down.
Yes.
Thinking back, would I recognize anything that could have been used as one in the cave that we fought Data?
No.
Or at least Data
I thought
fought us, I guess.
There was no such thing as a teleportation circle. They are very obvious. You were saying, Sin?
the only way to teleport was with the teleport spell. I'm surprised that there's
There
a
are,
lower
like,
level version of it.
8 different ways to teleport in D&D. Teleport is the most common at 7th level. Teleportation circle is the most limited, but the earliest you get access to at 5th level. Transport via trees, which is only available to druids at 6th level.
Interesting. I didn't know that there were so many spells to teleport.
Fair enough.
Transport via trees sounds cool.
You literally make the tree open up as a portal, and you walk
Yeah.
through the tree and come out of a tree somewhere else in the world.
That's dope. Alright. Makes me almost wish I played a druid.
I mean, you wouldn't get access
No,
to
it
the
doesn't,
spell,
because
but
you'd have
I was like,
to be a 6th level spell, and you're only
never
level
mind.
5th level.
Fair enough. Alright. So like Larkspur, Southgate, Shirai Keep.
Lark. Oh, it is Larkspur. What the fuck? Why isn't it not? Why isn't that a lake spur? I know there's not a lake.
It is Larkspur.
However,
Again.
comma.
I'm not talking about the named cities. So the named cities, or the things that have names, are the big major cities, like Highwatch, Dawnford, Oak Ridge. There are still scattered settlements all the way, like in Dawnford, north of Dawnford, there's like 6 to 10 up in these mountains. Or you can't actually see my thing. Can I do this and allow you to
I
see
saw
it?
it. I can see your
Yeah.
cursor.
We can see the ruler.
Oh. I thought I turned that off. Fair enough. Well, now it's off. Can you?
I'm
can you
pretty
see
sure it
this now?
resets every time you reopen Foundry, just so you know.
That's possible. That's good to know. Alright. So yeah, there's like 6 to 10 scattered villages up in here. There's like 3 to 4 down here. There's like 2 to 3 just in this valley area. Like,
Mhm.
the reason why they're not labeled is because they have a population less than 100 people. They are literally just a conglomeration of citizens and nothing more.
Looking at it, are they generally much closer to the strife marches than away?
No.
Okay.
This river is actually very, very unpopulated because that is where the militaries of both sides fight. There's no shot anyone
That is
would live here.
contested land.
Yeah. Oak Ridge is the only exception to that rule, and that's kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing you got to keep in mind is that while there's not probably towns up there, there probably is quite a lot of forts along that river.
Yeah. Forts on both sides to keep an eye on the other.
Yes, pillow forts, of course. Okay.
Yeah, with water guns.
Yeah, if the pillows are made with nukes.
Just a few fireballs.
Just so I have a number on it for my notes, what can you give me an exact number of locations? You probably don't have one, but it is something I want to keep track
5.
of.
2
All right.
villages that encountered them where it actually attacked them. 3 where it was just random hunters seeing them in the woods.
Is that
Right.
normally going north, south? Where?
Scattered.
Yeah, I already asked
just
that.
There's like
around
one
this
here,
area
one
then.
Here, one here, one here, one here, one here. Yeah.
They're all over the place.
So one could assume that it originated somewhere in Dawnford or Highwatch.
One could assume.
Okay.
You know what happens with assuming you make an ass out of you and Ming.
Who's Ming?
On a random note.
Hi,
I
I'm Ming.
I just gotta say this because I'm still losing my mind about it. I want you guys, all the other players, to know on my little excursion that I just went on, where I was going on my solo. I kid you not when I say the RNG god smiled on me this day. John can confirm. Holy moly! I got so lucky at the moment where I needed it most.
Holy moly.
The Avatar did not abandon him.
We are
It's
headed towards
so-
Miravalon's
so
shop.
real.
Sorry, one
Yep.
more time?
We are headed toward Miravalon's shop,
Right.
not her stall.
Sorry, David's question threw me off. I apologize. Alright. As you make your way across the city towards the shop that Gideon not necessarily knows well, but does know of, the other 2 following behind him, you make your way to her shop. Her shop is not necessarily extravagant, but definitely well maintained. It is by far one of the fancier buildings you have seen recently, with drapes and finery scattered along the outside to provide a more higher tiered clientele. Stepping inside, I presume Gideon being first, you would be met with the sultry, silky voice. Ah, customers. What can I do for you today? As Mira
There's
is
something
just,
I'd want to. Sorry, go ahead, you finish.
Mira is just almost languidly leaning against the counter.
I don't remember already having eaten the bread or giving it to someone, right?
No.
Okay. I would have eaten it this morning when I woke up then.
Alright.
How good was this fantastic gold worthy bread?
Honestly, even with the dust and scuff marks of the steelery conversion, it was actually quite tasty. Not the best bread you've ever had, probably because of the downsides, but not worth the gold, mind you, but maybe worth the silver.
Good thing it's really good bread.
And she's almost tapping her fingers in a rhythmic drum against the table, and she glances in your direction and almost like pauses and, oh, it's you. And she leans
That was
up
good.
and places her chin
You
in
know,
For a customer that paid like 4 times the value, you sure seem happy to see me.
As she places her chin in her clasped hands. What can I do for you, Mountain Man?
You haven't seen the small masked one around anywhere, have you?
Small masked one. Ah, no, I have not.
She seems to be out doing her own thing. Just peeking around.
Oh, you're just here for information.
An
Well, I
awkward
was also
pipe in.
curious.
Interjection. I am interested in selling as well.
Selling? It's not a business I usually partake in, but I'm always interested in new wares.
An awkward take out one of the size of the purple mantis and look at her and see if there's seems to be any interest. And also asking, Gray, is this something you usually deal in or be willing to deal in?
Monster parts?
Subtle, I like it. Yo, well done, Nanok. I'm cheering you on in the background. Woo!
Monster parts? That's something usually the Guildhall partakes in. That is a vibrant purple.
Insight.
And I am inciting to see if she has any. Screw my rolls. Inciting whether or not she seems to recognize
say your
anything
rolls are
about the
cursed.
purple mantis.
Alright, what are you
Man, I
inciting,
stole
Oliver?
all your luck this session. Like, literally every last bit of it. I'm sorry.
I'm
Oh,
trying.
I incited too. It's all good.
What are you inciting? Again, you can't just say, I incite them! What
Yes,
are you
I know.
inciting?
Does she recognize what she's looking at in more ways than just interest? I'm looking for other emotions.
Unfortunately, her eyes are guarded. You can clearly tell interest, but nothing more. She's a merchant by trade, and giving away secrets loses profits.
Why did I
In
go
which
proficiency
case-
in insight when I'm playing Gideon in a very not insightful way?
Of course, if you have
It's
extra
like there's so many
information.
things that I could insight, but I'm not because I'm playing Gideon and my insight bonus is so high.
I would pull out 3 gold, and I would say, of course, if you have extra information you'd be willing to sell, we obviously would be willing to buy.
She
An awkward interjection. We're selling, not buying.
I
We can
mean,
sell and buy.
Trade then.
Gideon nuts.
So you are asking if I know anything about this for 3 gold?
Indeed.
Enoch's not happy with this. An awkward pipe in
I'm so proud of
interjection.
him.
This is my part of the profits of our deal. I deal in the monster parts. I will give you some of the revenue for the question, but I still want my money.
Unfortunately, I don't think I wish to purchase the scythe. That looks wicked sharp, and my clientele are not usually in the market for weapons. However, the scales, I could make something with those. As for information, as much as I would love to swindle you of your money, I truthfully know nothing about this.
An
You would not.
awkward. Bray, would you be willing for a trade on ideas for the scales and how to use them? And I could give you some. I'm quite interested in the crafting aspects.
You want to give me deal ideas on how to use them? Is that what you
No.
are asking?
You seem to have an idea on how to use them already, and
Of
I want
course.
to hear such ideas, and I could give you some of my scales.
Her eyes almost glitter, the golden hue almost seeming to shine in the light, sensing a deal. So you
You
only
can see the
want
dollar signs.
you only want my idea in exchange for a couple scales?
Statement precisely.
Wonderful. I was planning on turning it into the most gorgeous of dresses, one for my own use.
And awkward. How big are the scales?
Scales, I would say,
I was about to say that might be more than a couple based on what she said.
I don't. A few inches across, I don't know, sure, maybe, something like that.
Okay, and this is on a humanoid, so equivalently I should have... I'd probably give it like 30 scales.
I would say you have a total of 50 scales that are a few inches across and are in decent to good condition. As you place the 3 scales on the counter, she almost her expression droops. I suppose it was effectively free. And then her fingers almost traipse over the scales as she does the pirate coin trick, almost flicking them down her fingers before she catches all 3 and fans them out like a deck of cards. Absolutely
You not-
exquisite.
Do you not find this fair? As you have dealt fairly with our information, I would also like to be such.
She opens her mouth, but then almost catches herself and just... She almost forlornly looks at Gideon. Yes, I do consider this deal fair. That being said, I will be willing to purchase the
Oh
others from
my
you.
goodness gracious. She actually does have heart. She is a better woman than Sin is, I'll tell you.
Enoch would be willing to sell all but 10.
And what price would you be willing to put on them?
Enoch would see how pliable the scales are, how hard they seem to be.
They're not diamond, but they are sturdier than metal. They are very strong. And yet, very light.
Almost like a missile?
Mithril is what he said.
Oh,
He didn't know that.
mithril. I was like,
Yeah, I know.
missile, and I was like, what?
That was my first
yes,
initial thought
I
when
wear
translated.
Like mithril? No. You could make a comparison, but mithril is legendary metal.
Yeah, but
And-
missile is supposed to be as hard as steel, if not a little harder, but also light.
So with Mithril,
Heads
there
up,
are
I have an
3
hour
things
left.
that
It's
Mithril.
also magically
There are 3 things with
attuned.
Mithril that you gotta yeah. Mithril is extremely valuable because it is light, insanely light. We're talking like featherweight, like a full set of Mithril plate feels like you're wearing clothing. Levels of light. Mithril is harder than steel, not the same hardness as steel, and Mithril also is one of the easiest metals on the planet to enchant. So because of that, Mithril enchanted magical armor goes crazy.
It's kind of fun. To the point that the first 2 actually wouldn't make mithril that expensive. It would be okay, that's cool. But it's that last property that makes it that legendary metal. It's the fact that it literally drinks magic like
A
dragon.
drink.
Dehydrating man in the
Interestingly
desert
enough,
was what I was
fun fact.
trying to say. But yes.
Drink
Interestingly enough,
magic
fun
like
fact, Mithril's
drink.
counterpoint, that being adamantine, is known for its anti-magic properties, which is why it's so valuable.
And also being harder than diamonds. But it weighs a fuck ton.
This is true.
I don't
I
actually
thought I
know
had
a whole
one.
lot of the gold value in D&D,
Does it
but I
not?
feel like my character, he deals with merchants.
If
get-
you roll an intelligence check, I can tell you how much the scales would probably be priced at, because I just know.
Give me a second. I just want to look at my background.
I'll let John tell me that, though, if he wants. I'll let John.
Because I swear there's something in my background that helps with
Well, you've been
merchants.
dealing in monster parts in your backstory before this.
I'm an artisan.
That's my only argument.
I'm aware. He's been playing
Mhm.
Enoch as more naive. Is the only reason why.
Mhm.
I have been,
Again,
but I
that-
was
this
also
is-
going to be the
this
one
is something
dealing
you
with
can.
buying the stuff.
This is something you can answer, and I will accept either answer. If you want Enoch to be more naive when it comes to money, by all means. If you want him to be more smart, there was a better word there, but smart when it comes to money, again, by all means. I was originally
Not in the
expecting Enoch
terms-
to be quite proficient.
Not in the terms of monsters and stuff.
Not
In
the
regards
terms
of
monsters.
social, like monster parts and stuff. He has a fairly good grasp on that.
He's saying.
And
Oh,
anything
okay.
He's saying he's got a good
used
grasp
in
of
the
stuff. It's the
trade.
social things that he's not as good at.
Yeah, he's
trade,
socially
so,
naive.
do you want
he
me
is
to just-
trade smart though.
Do you want me to just tell him how much it would cost then, John? I don't know if you
Sure.
know
I
how
do
much it would
have a
cost
vague
me,
idea in
but
my
if you
head,
know
but
as
I
well,
also
you
don't
can just
know
go.
for certain. But sure, I'll take your input.
So the answer is Enoch. As far as the skills go, you're selling 40 of the suckers, although 37 because of this. 37 of the suckers would be about equivalent of half of a piece of chainmail because of the size of the scales. And because it's half the piece of chainmail itself, when crafted, costs about 600 gold. And when you take into account the actual crafting of the process, which obviously takes a lot of the money out, those scales would be worth roughly 100 gold when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that was my thought too. Like somewhere between 100 and 150.
If you were really good, you might be able to get the merchant to pay 200 for it. But the merchant, if the merchant built it into an item, would probably sell the item for close to 1,000 gold.
I mean, a purple scaled dress.
Would probably sell for at minimum of 500 gold because the only clientele that would buy it are the richest rich fucks.
How are we feeling of 160 gold?
160? You're ripping my heart out. I can't go a dime or a silver over 100.
Statement. We had to risk our life for this. Surely there's more in it than that.
And I must turn up.
How are we feeling?
profits.
140.
I have to make the item. I have to purchase the.
And to be fair, the scales aren't the only thing we got out of it. We did get paid technically.
Thank you.
Gideon, you filthy.
120 gold is the most I can go. Not a copper more.
120 and knowledge if you've seen my friend, the masked woman.
I already gave that information for free, so deal.
She just takes it.
She pulls out
Takes the
coins,
money.
counts out 120 for you, and she grabs the scales. I assume that they're in a bag, and her eyes just almost flash with the golden sheen.
Pleasure doing business.
By the way, fun fact, she's going to sell that dress for like 3,000 gold. I want you to know.
I'm sure you'll make a magnificent dress.
She just blows you a kiss.
The scales seem quite strong. My first thought was to make a cloak.
No. I would not waste these beauties on such.
Excuse you?
Excuse you.
Statement. Here to doing honorable business. Long lasting.
And she gives a small curtsy. I would love to see you in my shop again, hopefully with other intricate prizes. As for you, Mountain Man, I see you glancing around. Has anything caught your eye? Just to inform you,
Excellent
the
question.
general layout of this store, it is a general merchant. She has everything from arrows to healing potions to brooms to it is
Underwear too.
it is your general shop in a town, and she seems to be able to sell and buy anything.
The best kind
Which
of
is funny
Skyrim
because she
merchant.
said that she doesn't buy weapons.
That's what she said.
Said her clients aren't typically interested in weapons, not that she doesn't buy them.
Look, all I'm saying is Sin hates this chick.
Hmm.
Now, this chick has been putting Sin on an emotional roller coaster, if I'm being honest.
It's kind of funny because every time you're not even there to interact with her.
I would.
I don't know. Is there anything peculiar
know,
that
I'm hearing-
catches my eye? Because I'm not really looking for anything specific.
I will say that one thing that does catch your eye is a small little teddy bear. Stuffed teddy bear.
Hmm.
It is currently charged for 2 silver. That almost seems to be tucked in the back.
Reference. You said you would give knowledge of a friend. Do you have
Already
any?
did.
She already
didn't.
said that she doesn't.
Her,
Go!
her smile just grins even wider.
A knock just freaking played her like a fiddle! Way to go!
Her smile just grins wider. I already gave you the information, sweetie. You're not going
That
to
is
get
true.
it long.
However, you said you would give me knowledge of the person. Not if you met them.
She almost like traces
What
her
a chat
claws.
move!
She almost just traces her claws along the desk, digging in ever so slightly. Didn't I?
Get freaking played! Emergent. Unironically, that would have worked on Sin too. If I'm being...
Well played.
She taps her fingers. Fortunately, I still don't have much in that regard either, but I'll be keeping my eye on you. She has a bit of a reputation amongst merchants of having sticky hands.
known. I would appreciate any such information and be willing to buy such. As we now have a mutual respect, I hope.
Unfortunately, I uphold my deals. Sin has been most seen around the Sharon Kingdom. Her mask is only, well, not a recent development. She didn't always have it. How do I explain this? She took it from someone powerful. As for the details of the arrangement and why she's still free, I do not know.
Thank you.
She just nods. Now, get out of my shop before I get pissed.
Hey,
I
if
made
she
a
had said that to
purchase.
Sin would unironically like her more.
I will flip her a gold coin, just for what I've learned.
She just catches it. What is up with adventurers and just giving money? As she walks into the back of her shop.
Oh my goodness, Sin's
I-
got so many kindred spirits, but none of them are her party.
I don't know if you heard me, but before Oliver even flicked the coin, I said, "Wouldn't mind if I made a purchase."
I did not, and she would almost like pause and just like almost turning around the persona that she was giving off of the wanting you out of her shop almost vanishing. Of course, darling.
I would bring forth the teddy bear.
She
And-
tilts her to the side. Oh, I was wondering if that would ever get sold.
I don't have any denominations smaller than a gold coin, unfortunately.
Ah. What do you
I would-
take me for? She pulls out. She reaches her hand forward.
And I would give her the coin.
She'll take it and she'll pull out 9 silver and sets it on the counter in front of you. For previous business.
Gideon would smile and take the coin.
She winks.
Well
and then-
played, merchant lady. Well
and then slips into the back.
And Gideon would stow the bear in his pack, and I will have to find
Sin,
or I'll make an item for it.
Sin doesn't know why, but she idly curses merchants in her heart.
I don't know if you heard, but I mentioned I might have had it on mute, but I did offer Gideon 2 silvers.
You definitely did not say that.
I did not hear that.
I must have been holding the wrong button or something, but I did offer 2 silvers.
Well, too late. Operator failure. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. Is what it is.
Oh well.
Yeah.
As you all finish with Miravelon's shop, I presume you make your exit and move somewhere.
I
Yeah.
would want to go and check on. Let me look at my notes. Talos and Oscar before we head out
Alright.
to look for Sin.
Where exactly would you find them?
Specifically, I can't remember exactly where we left them, but I believe it would have been in the doctor's office, same as before.
They were left at the guild hall, but I will say that you did check up on them while they were there, and they appear to not have been there when you were there. As it would have just been as simple as opening a door that you walked past.
Gotcha. In that case, I wish I had known that before, but I would head back that direction.
Again, how I'm phrasing that, like, I can not do this if you guys want me to, but in my thought process is that, like, yes, you, David, had the thought now, but Oliver would have had the thought back then, and so instead of making you go all the way back to the guild hall to confirm they're not there, I just allowed you the opportunity to have prior knowledge and just checked on them while you were there. Is that how
Fair
Bo
enough.
DMs? No. I'm okay with DMing that way.
Okay. In that case, I probably would have brought that up when I was there as well and asked where they were.
I'll just say
Keep in mind, do not get used to it. I'm
Yes.
still not going to DM that way.
I am aware. I am much more forgiving than Bo, and maybe I will change in the future, but I am just trying things as of now. I will say that you've been stewing on it until now, stewing on why they left and where they are, and so now you could bring it up to the party.
It bothers me that Oscar and Talos are no longer at the guild hall. It is possible that Sin did something, but I would like to check on them.
All
I
right.
assume that you had a similar inclination as he glances at the teddy bear.
He will say nothing.
Response. I have no problem with such, as we are waiting for Sin to rear her head. I don't know how to say that. I was trying to say something I don't know if I said it right.
Yeah, it was close enough.
I would want to still head back to the guild hall just to ask what happened
All right.
or investigate the issue.
As I assume the others follow, you make your way back to the guild hall. Entering in, how would you go about learning this information?
I would simply, when the opportunity arises to do so tactfully, I would walk up to the receptionist and introduce myself. I am Oliver, working for Vera, High Commander of the Watch. I would prefer to receive some information in an investigation.
Yeah, you're important. Symbol.
Sorry, one more time.
Yeah, you're important.
Symbol, as he taps the counter.
As I will set down my symbol.
He grabs it and he brings out a book and he checks over with it.
Checks out. What were you wanting?
There are two individuals that were left here, Oscar and Talus, who were both, or at least one, was ill. Do you know what happened to them?
As he hops down off of his stool and walks into the back. Several minutes pass. How long are you willing to wait?
I was actually going to say, I want to... Is Hunter's Mark something that can be detected?
What do you mean? Clarify.
Considering
Outside
the
of,
fact
like-
that you have to
Outside
say
of
the
just like
words
magic,
out loud.
just like something you sense.
So-
if someone were to use it on you, would you notice?
No. So the casting of the spell would be very obvious. Like, it is literally very loud. You are literally, I am casting a spell! Like, it is very obvious. After the spell is cast, Hunter's Mark would be invisible. At least I'm fairly certain it doesn't show up. I'd have to read the spell to be exact. But once the spell is cast, it would effectively be undetectable unless you are very, very good in Arcana.
It's actually not just very good in Arcana. I'm pretty sure spells are undetectable unless you use detect magic,
Yes,
or
but
unless the spell has
mean,
runes.
it's kind of like if you're very good in Arcana, you are capable of recognizing the magic around you being slightly off. It's kind of like if you can smell smoke, you know there's smoke
that's
in the air
fair.
even though you can't see it. So they wouldn't
as far as I'm
know
aware,
that it's
Hunter's
Hunter's
Mark
Mark.
doesn't have
They
a
would
thing.
just know the magic is slightly off.
Noted. How, in what way is it obvious? Is it because of you speaking out loud, or is it because of magic light? What
So
exactly
if
are we
you
looking at here?
if you look, it's a combination of all three. If you look at the spell and you look at the material or at the components of the spell, I wonder if it's on Foundry. If I open your character sheet and I go to your spell book and I click, yeah,
I
Hunter's
mean,
Mark.
in this case, I can just tell you, Hunter's Mark is verbal and components, but he
Yeah.
probably has a spell focus, so
Yeah.
it's just verbal.
So it's
So in this
verbal.
case, it's just because your character is speaking. And by the way, this is not like you can whisper or mutter the spell under your breath.
Again,
You
it's
can't
very obvious.
whisper spells. When you talk, it's like, picture it like this. When you talk, your voice gets a magical echo reverb that plays throughout the entire room and echoes off walls.
Again,
You don't miss when someone's casting a spell.
it is literally the I
Somebody
am
could
casting a
cast a spell.
spell. It's that obvious.
Yeah. A good way of looking at it is imagine the wizard on the other side of the room going, "Oh!" Like you could
Fair
be
enough.
in the middle of a tavern and you would still notice someone casting a spell.
Fair enough. And I'm assuming, well, I am specific. I suppose I am unique with detect thoughts as well. It would effectively do the same thing. Would it just be just as obvious?
Yes, at least I'm almost positive. Let me look up detect thoughts.
It is. I know it is. I already checked.
Yes, it is just as obvious when you are casting detect thoughts.
In that case, how are you detecting someone's thoughts subtly in that case if it's that obvious?
The
Like it
answer
feels
is you
Because it lasts
cast
for
the
10
spell.
minutes, so you
no, it
cast
lasts
it
for 1
before you're in a
minute.
room.
It lasts for 1 minute,
Oh,
so you
I was-
cast it
I was wrong
before
then.
entering a room, and then for 30 seconds you can detect people's thoughts, give or take.
I see. So I have to do it beforehand.
So
Or
what
if you have subtle spell, you can do that too.
yes. So what you are thinking of, and the way I've made sense, is that with your race in particular, if you are communicating with another one of your race, it's effectively like you have the message cantrip just permanently going.
Right.
And
All right.
funnily enough, I would recommend picking up the message cantrip because that will actually maybe I'll put some thought process into that. But how your mental communication will work almost works exactly like the message cantrip. The message cantrip
Okay.
is
As soon as I get
subtle.
message, I'm gonna get up to so much stuff.
The message cantrip
Okay.
is subtle, just so you know. It is not obvious.
I was under the understanding that I could cast these discreetly, so
You cannot cast detect.
The
thoughts
only
discreetly.
spells you can cast discreetly are spells that don't have verbal components.
Yes.
and it
And
lasts
just so you know,
1 minute.
somatic components are also just as obvious. They're just soundless.
We're back. I need to clean something up.
Yeah, somatic components are just like you're doing a bunch of stuff with your hands, but
Yes.
if they're not looking at you, then they won't know.
You know, like Naruto gang signs or whatever the fuck? That is somatic components.
Hand signs.
Gang signs.
yes.
After he's left and far out of your shot, I would, and also out of sight if he is, I would cast Detect Thoughts. Not looking or delving into anyone's thoughts specifically, just keeping track of everyone in the building.
Inside of Miravalon's shop?
We're not in
No,
Miriam
inside the
Phelan's
guild.
shop. We're in the guild.
Oh,
The
the
guild,
guild
yeah.
hall. Right. I forgot
Yeah.
you guys went there.
Also, fun fact, John. This is actually a fun little detail. When you cast the message spell, it is subtle, but only the words you actually sent through the message spell are subtle. The people still realize you're casting a spell. Rules as written.
Let's look, shall we? I don't think
Just a fun
that's
little
correct, because I'm fairly certain
No,
we've looked this up
I
in
know
the past,
that's
and
know
message
that's
in
correct 'cause
particular
I-
is an exception to the rule.
message is not an exception to the rule. So what you're probably thinking of is the fact that the message you say doesn't count as the verbal component. So like for example, if you send a message that says, "Hey, we are going to stab him in the back," right? That is not something that people can hear. However, the spell itself still has a verbal component that is the mystical incantation, which they must speak, which means that the people who
Fair enough.
look at them, they won't know what the message was, but they do know that a spell was cast.
Fair enough.
While we're doing this, I would more or less just read the surface thoughts, not delving deeper so they don't notice, over the people in the room, just
'Kay.
generally watching for people who are paying attention.
So just to make sure I understood this is while the dwarf is still going, doing whatever he's doing. You exited the building, moved a block or two away, cast the spell, came back, and are reading the minds of everyone in the room. There are like a dozen individuals in this room, just so we're clear.
Yep, and I'm not specifically, I'm pulling my attention to people who have their attention drawn to me, just to make sure that there's.
I'm gonna assume this is just your surface thought
yeah,
check, right?
I'm not delving deeper.
Okay.
I am literally just scanning for people who are taking undue attention to this. I understand that I am an investigator and that's going to draw attention normally, but I am looking for specifically anybody who has alternative motives.
All right. Couple thoughts you would get is, he just walked in. I wonder why he left and came back. That was weird.
There's nobody who is out of place, though, which is the only thing that matters.
I mean, how are you supposed to get them to be out of place?
Specifically, anybody who is literally waiting for me, that would be one that would be suspicious, for example. Just something that means that they are specifically.
Just so
My
you know,
thought
it's only
process is-
30 feet in range.
Mhm.
30 feet is like only half the distance of the common room. the lobby.
All right, I'm back.
That's fair, I suppose. I was thinking it would be a bit smaller, but
It's
been
it's a
just me.
guild hall. Think like every adventurer's guild hall in every anime ever. That place is huge.
Fair enough.
You're pretty much in an auditorium right now.
Got you. Is there another door I could have walked into? Just
Your
the main, or
office?
is there?
Is he trying to cast a spell?
Yes, you
I
already
did.
cast the spell technically.
Okay. Bro just walked into a supply closet and then said it and then came out. No.
Technically,
Oh, no,
exited
I
the
walked
building
out.
and then came back.
But yes, when I walked in, Detect Thoughts was active.
All right.
But if I didn't sense anything suspicious, we can continue.
Your line has been, your space in line has been overtaken.
I assume that Anak and
Gideon would have probably
Gideon
followed
was
you
still
out.
there. I would have told them to stay.
All right. Do they stay?
I suppose if I was told to.
All right. Gideon comes,
Sure.
or Oliver
For a
comes
bit.
back. A few seconds later, scans the room for like a minute. His eyes falling on each person individually, before he almost just shakes his head and rejoins the group.
Does he look at our thoughts?
Do you look at Oliver and Gideon's thoughts? Or Anox and Gideon's thoughts? I apologize.
Passively, I would have, but I wouldn't paid much attention to it.
What were you? Wait. Is it a saving throw to get the surface level thoughts? I thought it was free. I could be wrong though.
It is free. It
I think surface
literally
level thoughts
there
are
is
free,
no. Yeah.
What is your surface level thoughts?
I genuinely don't think I would have any right now.
Head empty. The similar
Yeah.
wall that is
Yeah,
Gideon's mind.
Like he would have looked at Gideon and like for a second it would have been nothing and then it would have been, oh hey look, Oliver.
Anox would be, I should have bought a magic bag.
Alright.
Did we determine that message spell is not obvious?
It is obvious, apparently.
Gross. Would my version of it be obvious?
I'll put a pin on that. Think about it.
Important note about message, just so you know. Obvious in this case just means that people know you're casting a spell. They don't even necessarily know it's the message spell, and again, they will not hear the message.
Correct.
I'll just go ahead and cast it and just... I cast Detect Thoughts. Just to the two.
And
Nothing. I was just being cautious.
Nock would just nod.
All right.
I have a question. Does this is for you to answer for Anak. Does Anak have like broken scale pieces, like scales that are like not pristine, as you would say, or like, yeah?
I
I imagine he has some,
would say like
Yeah.
5, give or take.
and he probably
Um,
keeps the broken scales
She
as
definitely
to
would
not
have
sell
accepted them.
damaged goods.
Yep. I see some of your broken scales.
Nock would hand you fragment of it.
Just a
You need
single
the-
piece.
Statement, do you need
Solid.
the whole scale? Okay, he
Mhm.
puts some scales into your hand. Broken and fractured in different spots.
Some small breaks are still worth mending, and I will attempt to use my mending cantrip on some of the broken scales just to see if it works.
You
I believe that does work, actually.
would both see in a magic that you are not necessarily prepared for, but just not expecting, as small white lines almost seem to fuse the scales together, almost like a matrix of magic grabbing the scales and almost seeming to fuse them together. And as the magic traces along them, it does take a minute to cast, so over a very slow process, fusing the material together before leaving it, the white light vanishing as a full scale is now left in its place.
Joy,
Genuinely,
as
probably the
Anok
best
swings his
condition we
arm
have.
around Gideon and be like, "We can be close friends."
Joy, we can be close friends. Like we like link our arms and do a little circle dance, like.
All right.
Statement. It was always a shame to not be able to put to use the broken goods.
But rest assured, because I will fix what I can.
As the dwarf
And I would
slams,
Yeah. Sorry, I was just gonna say in off time I would just fix the broken pieces, I guess.
as the dwarf slams his hand on the counter, getting Oliver's attention.
All right. Sorry, I had to look through reports. Apparently, the 2 children were released under the boy's want. He said he was going to take her back home.
Thank you. I understand. That will be all.
Ugh. Next!
As I will head that direction.
This guy enjoys his
I
job.
knew Oscar was a rat. No.
As you head in the direction of their house, it's the best way I can describe it. You just head straight there, no preamble or conversations need to be had?
I'd probably have a conversation on the way.
By all means.
How long do you believe that Sin will rejoin us? Anok.
How long
I'm
will
gonna
she be
assume there
with
was
us,
a
or how
till
long
there,
until she
but-
rejoins us?
Until she rejoins us. My apologies.
Theory. I believe it will be around nightfall. She usually digs stuff up for quite a long time and then shows up. I don't know a whole lot. Thus me asking for the information.
In that case, I believe we should wait for her return. Once she does, then we can move forward. I believe spending the rest of the day with them would not be a bad decision.
Recall, I believe that was the plan we had made already.
He nods.
All
Right.
That's it.
As you make your way towards the house of Oscar and Talus, that is there. As you come across the home, still in shambles, but the door almost hanging on its last hinge, and the small sounds of crying coming from inside, as we will end the session there.
Called it.
Yep.
I told you something was gonna happen to the kids.
Uh-uh.
I knew it was coming.
Oof. Well, this is your fault.
That was my fault. I'm the only one that actually cared enough to go check on them for
For
second
no
time.
reason other than Oliver dislikes you.
I mean, that's the feeling is mutual. I promise you, sir.